Hey guys, Archie Luxury on the Archie Luxury live stream, AC3 live stream. How are you guys going today, guys? Today I am packing my bags. I'm leaving tomorrow. Normally today's my day off, but I moved it to tomorrow because I'm actually packing to go on a mystery tour. That's right. I'm going for 2 weeks, maybe longer, 2 weeks at least. And I got to be honest with you. I really need a bit of a break. Okay. I've fucking, one thing about YouTube, yeah, it's true. The hours aren't huge, right? I do these shows, but fuck, it's one of these things. The hours aren't huge, but the mental the collateral you pick up, you just sometimes, I really enjoy the streaming. I love the streaming. But there's a lot of, here we go, first super chat in for the night. Thank you so much. Huratan. Thank you, Huratan. $2. Day 52 without a paddock. Are you even? I own four. I own four. Yo. I own four. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's exactly the way it is. It's the way it is in the world. That's how it is, man. You got to see how it really is there. Yeah, that's just how things go. And I've got to be honest with you. Things sometimes change. The variable in the market is, it is what it is. And what can I do? I just try and provide entertainment and fun to the audience. We've got some more super chats coming in fast. We've got Huratan, $5. If you were to sell the Breguet, oh, I've got two. Which paddock would you get with the funds? Calculate it up and show us what you get on Chrono. Look, I can tell you this now. The problem is it's liquidity. These things aren't so easy to sell. We're in a market now where some of this stuff doesn't move as fast as you think it would move. Okay. That is the big problem. Okay. The problem is things don't sell quickly like they used to. And so many people don't understand that. Like it's you hypothetically could say, well, I'd like to sell this, or I'd like to sell that, or I want to sell this. What can I get for doing this or doing that? But the problem is they don't sell as quick as you think. Okay? They don't sell anywhere near as quick as you would like them to sell. So it's one thing to say, hey, I'd like to sell this, or I'd like to sell that, but reality, let me tell you, reality can be a vicious friend. Okay, things that you think would sell or move don't, and that is kind of the problem. Okay. Now, if I sold two of my Breguets, okay, fine. Let's just say hypothetically, sold two of my Breguets there. Who have we got here? Hey, how are you? Hello? Hello? Who's that? if I sold 2 of the Breguets, what would I buy? Well, that's a good question. What would I buy? Let's see what we got here. Hey, how you going?
Hey Archie, how's it going, mate?
Hey, not too bad. What's happening in your world there?
Not a lot, man. So when you arrive in New Zealand, am I picking you up from the airport? I know you've been eager to come down here.
I love New Zealand. You know that? I really do love New
Hey, you
Zealand.
missed a super chat from Rich Mitch. Rich
Rich
Mitch.
Mitch, £2. What's your thought on the Alpine Eagle in blue? I've never been a big fan. The Alpine Eagle. You know, I've never really been a huge fan of this sort of stuff. Not a huge fan. Are you a fan of that?
Not overly fond of it. How have you been, Paul?
Hey, I've been okay. Here we go. That's just looking at if I sold these 2 Breguets. Obviously, I've sold the chronograph already. It's Gonski. It's the 2 dress watches, the enamel and the tradition. What would I buy? You know what? I tell you honestly, I would probably want something. I like the world time. I'd like a world time back. The problem is, you know, you start looking at Chrono 24 prices. That's what people are trying to sell them for. That's not necessarily
It's
what
not what they
you'd.
sell for. You need Paddock and Pussy, baby. That's what you need.
Well, I got to be totally. The last thing I need is more expenses. I don't need more debt. I want to kind of slow down a bit. I'm not doing anything in buying any sort of expense. These are very dear watches. Speaking of dear watches, you recently bought, it hasn't been announced on the stream, you recently bought your No Time to Die.
I did, yes. I did.
How did you fund that? Because that's a lot of money.
Well, the money's here, Archie. I mean, look, I got to be honest with you, man. Like, I'm already having a bit of buyer's remorse. I might be possibly looking at moving it into something else. We'll see. Like, I'm trying to make it work, but it's hard, fuckers. It's hard.
So what have you been doing since you left the stream? What have you been doing with yourself?
I've been working at McDonald's, man. I got some more hours. I've been flipping the burgers, you know. John at McDonald's. John at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah, John at McDonald's. Yeah, because I kind of told you not to go to the other streams. I told you they wouldn't provide a living wage for you, but you didn't fucking listen. Why is it I
None of the
try and
streams
tell
provide a
you?
living wage, Archie.
Sorry?
None of the streams provide a living wage.
Well, I provided more of a steady income than any other jockeys out there.
Sure.
And all I asked was for some loyalty, which you just couldn't provide.
That's fair enough.
And then you kind of wonder what went wrong. I mean, I was happy you had a good voice, good mannerism. I'm
a free man now.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I got to be honest with you. If I could sell both of these Breguets, what would I buy? Hypothetically, to be honest with you, if I sold both of these fucking Breguets, I would probably buy something in steel. Okay, something steel, cheap, and I would keep a reserve of money. I actually look at more. I'm going for a phase where I would prefer to have more travel than actually a watch, so to speak. Particularly the countries I want to travel to, these sort of dress watches are completely useless to me because I'm traveling to hot, humid places. These
Get a Coke.
don't.
Coke.
I'd probably
Coke
be looking more Breitling, lower priced Breitling. I wouldn't mind a Breitling Super Ocean Heritage. I would like a Reverso. I think a Reverso in steel. I've always loved Reversos. I'd love a Reverso, but I got to be honest with you. A lot of prices are crazy, and I'm not in a hurry to buy anything. I think maybe scale back down a bit there. We got a few super chats. Let's catch up here and see what's going on here. So to answer Tan, if I sold those 2 Breguets, what would I buy? I tell you what I'd buy. I'd buy a World Time or a 5146. I think that'd be a great watch to have. But you know, Tan, liquidity. You can't. Sometimes you've got to sell what sells. You can't just sell. You can't sell pipe dreams, Tan. We got a super
Well,
chat here, $10 from Hurritan. I spoke to Don Haynes about your situation. Quote, the problem is AC3 buying 10 or 15-year-old bargains that are fucked and gears are rusted. Then he sent me a photo of his AP Royal Oak chronograph. Even Don's trolling you. There's nothing rusted in these. These are nice. These are current production
they're
model.
expensive, but
I mean, Donnie,
very expensive.
not all of us have the money that Donnie has. We got a super chat. One Up Kicks $2. What's your thought on the new Man XIFL After Dark? Man,
Those are shitters. It's like those main Manhattan watches.
He goes, why buy anything? Just wear the Explorer 2. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm wearing at the moment. I'm going for a trip. I will be back. By the way, guys, I'll be moving the show 1 hour forward because of time zone differences. And America, some states have got daylight saving. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Let me talk to you.
I got another new watch, by the way, Archie. Do you want to see it? I'll give you some hints what it is.
I would love to see any watch. Now, I've actually got your watch.
Yes. I got another new one. You want to see it? I'll give you some guesses at what it is. It's got a white dial.
Sure, I'd love to see any watch of yours. I would.
It's got a GMT complication. It's got an orange GMT hand.
White dial GMT complication. I'm just going to pull up firstly.
Bezel.
Okay.
They call it the Polar.
Da-da-da-da.
What have you gotten?
I'm just going to find this photo of yours. I must say, guys, that photo you took was beautiful. You know,
I could have taken a better one, but thank you. Like, I'm still learning, you know. Like,
it was
I'm not
nicely done. I don't know why you like the crowns out. I hate the crowns out. I know, because you want 10-10. You want
yeah.
But I like the crowns to be in. You know what I mean? It's sort of.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do. I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it. It's I've got to say, you've had some beautiful watches, and what's happening in New Zealand is New Zealand's not so easy to get a job or do anything. We got Chief Tit jumping on. That's good. We like the Chief Tit. Chief Tit, how are you, my friend?
Chief Tit.
You well?
Is that a watermelon shirt? Oh, sorry.
How are you,
it's Christmas. Hey, Christmas. I'm actually leaving tomorrow.
You're leaving tomorrow?
I'm leaving tomorrow for a trip.
He's coming to New Zealand. I'll pick him up from the airport.
Sure.
I got to be honest with you. It should be a really good trip.
You touched on something before, Arch, and I felt compelled to jump on to agree about something particularly poignant. You know how you said before about wanting to get rid of some of the watches that were dress watches because they don't really suit what you're doing?
Yes.
That's absolutely crucial, I reckon, because it's pointless having these really expensive gold dress watches and yet traveling around. Well, I just find, okay, there's collecting for the sake of collecting, which I get. But when you want to travel around, you want to do some things, and you want to have a couple of watches with you because you're into them, they need to fit. They need to be fit for purpose. Do you know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Fit.
I mean,
for
when Tan yesterday said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be on the beach there sipping pina coladas with a Patek Philippe," but just like not really. It doesn't go.
I put all my watches in the safe the other day. I'm taking my Explorer 2. That's a fantastic travel watch.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Anything else?
I gotta be okay. Anything else? No, only one. Because I don't want to worry security and that there too. You know, if you have one, you've just got it on you. You wear it. You know what I mean? You can
absolutely.
And I was actually contemplating maybe the PAM. That was the other one. That was the contender because but I decided no, take the GMT because it's got the time zone and also it's on a bracelet.
Yeah.
Which is very good for me, you know. It
does everything.
It's I'm actually really I got to be honest with you, Chief Tit. I'm seriously contemplating. Like I'm very, very serious. I'm contemplating living overseas for like 3 to 6 months of the year. And
hey,
to fund
sorry,
that,
Archie, I gotta go, guys. Have a good one.
No worries, Bateman. Thanks for coming on, man. We love you. You're always welcome on. Okay.
See you, Archie. Chief Tit. Good to see you, mate.
See you, bud.
I got to tell you, Chief Tit, I am really contemplating more travel because look, I'm 53. I have a chance. Empty nesters. The children have left the nest. Okay, I've actually been that's made me a bit down. Okay, I must confess with you, it has made me down that they have left the nest because I used to really like doing things with them, and those days are gone. You know, they're gone, unfortunately.
Well, you're in a different phase now, Arch. I mean, I bet there would have been times when they were in the nest where you were thinking, geez, I wish they weren't in the nest so I could go and do what I want to do, you know?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Well, here's the time now, so you just got to enjoy yourself, you know?
Well, I'm really thinking, like with the car, I'm kind of, I tell you what, the tax department, they give you a tax deduction, but fuck, they're mean. Okay, so I claimed 5 years depreciation in the first year I had it. Okay, that was the incentive for COVID-19. Okay,
yeah.
So anytime I sell that car, no matter what I sell it for, I've got to pay tax on it. Did you know that? And I don't get the 50% deduction rule. Normally, if you buy an asset, you get 50% deduction. You know what I mean?
Is this because you took the deduction up front?
Yes. Well, who wouldn't? I had a tax. That's why I bought the fucking thing. Okay.
Listen, it's like when you got a gelato in front of you and somebody's saying, "Don't eat it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very.
You got to pay sometime. You know.
So I'm looking. Look, I must say one thing. Since I paid it off, it doesn't have the pressure. Because the payment was $1,000 a month. I mean, I can tell you this now. My income doesn't support that now. You know, it's very. We got another super chat. Let's have a look here. Hurritan, $5. Chief Tit, I've traveled all over the world with Archie wearing a world time while this pussy brought shitters with him. Some men dream, some men do. Well, I did take the world time to Geneva. I was in Geneva with you, Tanzil.
Yeah, well, that's a good place to have it, right?
Did you buy that Pam you showed me yesterday?
Yeah, this is the one.
Oh, you bought it?
No. Remember, I showed you this one. It had the blue strap with the deployant clasp, but I got the new strap the other day on Sunday.
You got the new strap. Yeah.
And it makes it look totally different, you see?
you know, I love. How much was the strap?
The strap was, I'll tell you, Archie, was like about $500, but the this little stupid thing here, just that was like $4.90.
Oh, you didn't have that? Could you use the one from your older one?
No, because the older one's got the deployant clasp, and this little bit in the middle is thicker, so it wouldn't fit into the kit. But it's got this. Look at this. This is an older Panerai before they had the fast release. But I asked them, could they get the kit where the quick release works on the old watch, and it does. You see, you push this thing forward like that, and it just comes off.
Oh, I see.
So you can use the screwdriver thing, but you can also just clip it on and off like the Cartier one, like all those modern ones. Then you clip it back on, see? So that's good.
Here we go. Hurricane, $2. Vid in WhatsApp to solve the Paddock Beach problem. Let's have a look at this here.
Yeah, this will be good.
This is an old video, man. I don't even remember making these fucking videos. You know that?
Hello, I'm Archie Luxury and welcome to the program. And I'd just like to declare my love for my Patek Philippe Calatrava 5107. I just love that little watch so much. And you know, it is a living thing. It's not just a, you know, it's not just a machine. It has actually got a soul. It's a living thing. It's more than just the sum of the parts. And I really love my 5107. It's just a part of me. I mean, I couldn't sell it. It's like losing a limb. And I love my 5107. And I just got it back a couple months ago from service. And I finally paid the watchmaker's bill. Jesus Christ, Archie, you're getting a bit slow in payment. But yeah, money's been a bit tight. But what I've done now is I put on a beautiful new Patek strap. And then I thought, hang on a minute. I don't really want to just wear out a nice new strap. They're a fortune. So I thought, what else do I want to put on it? So I tried on my Rouse, R-I-O-S, Royce German strap. And it's my ostrich strap. And I got to say, my Patek 5107 Calatrava on the ostrich, I really like it. And I could have fitted my original Patek buckle to it, but I thought, you know, I'm always very cautious when I got the Patek buckle on because it's white gold, it easily scratches, and I just thought, no, fuck it, I'll leave the Royce steel buckle on, just so that I can enjoy wearing the piece without worrying about scratching the buckle. And I'm really happy with the results there. I'm really, really happy. That's my Patek 5107 with my ostrich German strap. And it's just, I don't know, you tell me what you think of it. It's just a... I reckon it's gorgeous. I really, really love it. And I'd recommend, you know, all those stiffs out there, try it. And if you want to go on the zany side, what's the zany side of Patek Philippe ownership? Well, how about this? I was reading in Hodinkee where that buffoon William Messina, he had actually fitted a NATO strap to his 5960.
You like NATO?
And I can't stand William Messina. He's a real estate broker. He's a fucking real estate agent. He's a salesman, a dirty, grubby salesman. And I thought, well, if that salesman can do that, well, I can outjuice that fucker. So what I've decided to do is I've tried a couple of NATO straps on my Patek 5107. Now, you know, you've got to take this in a humorous way. And, you know, I think, you know, I've got I've got two types of straps there. I've tried it on the Italian flag strap, and I've also tried it on the original army strap. And the original army strap has even got a bit of rust there to add a bit of authenticity. And it's really, really interesting shit. Really interesting. I mean, I'd like to hear from my audience. What do you think of my white gold Calatrava on a NATO? And this is a really cool fucker. Really cool way to go. And I mean, if the end of the world was coming, maybe you'd put a NATO on the annual calendar. Now, I haven't done that. I just wanted to put my foot in the water and try it. Try a NATO on the Calatrava, because then the Calatrava I've got, the 5107, it's a bit sporty. It's got the crown guards. It's very, you know, it's very 60s chic. So I can sort of get away with a little bit of liberal license. And before I try a NATO on the annual calendar, I just wanted to ask for permission and to hear what the audience has to say. So firstly, what do you think of a NATO on my Patek Philippe 5107? And I don't know how to take it. I'm not sure whether I like it, love it, or leave it. So I'd like to hear from my audience. I'm Archie Luxury, and this has been an interesting depth of putting a NATO with a dress watch Patek.
Hello,
see you later.
And I'm a huge Archie Luxury fan. I absolutely love the Archie Luxury channel. Archie's just so cool and so funny. Archie, you actually remind me of my rich uncle who was later arrested on fraud charges. I also think that Archie is, you know, rather cute if you like overweight, middle-aged, lower middle-class white guys with 4 children. I'm so proud that Archie Luxury has over 5 million YouTube views. That is amazing considering the number of shitty slideshows that Fool produced in the early days. Jokes aside, I really love the Archie Luxury character and I'm proud to promote the channel. Thank you, Archie, for making me laugh and smile every day of my life.
Yeah, those were the days, Chief Tit.
Yes. But honestly, do you
We
find
go,
that
Walter Glock,
particular-
$5. What's sadder, wearing the same shirt every day or banging a watermelon? You know, we try and make you guys laugh. That's what we're trying to do. We try and make you guys laugh. Look at that. That's the watermelon for perpetuity. Perpetuity. Look at that. So, Chief Tit, I got to tell you something. I'm really looking at traveling, and I might relocate next year because I've got time off. The children, I'm an empty nester, and I got a business which allows me to work anywhere. Why stay home and be miserable? I'll sell off the car. I mean, I love the BMW. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but it's also expensive. You've got an Audi. You know how expensive these German cars are. They're not cheap, are they?
They're very expensive, especially if you're not using it. Then you're not even getting anything out of it.
Yeah, at least the brakes don't wear down. Have you done brakes in your Audi?
Yeah, I've done the brakes in the Audi, and mine's got the carbon ceramic.
Oh, how much do they cost?
Oh, they're about like $6,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that's getting them done not from Audi because they just charge like they're ridiculous, like $250 an hour. I don't know who they think they are.
Yeah, I mean, to you, it's almost like lawyer rates.
No, I could send it to a QC, get to work on the car.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, and you should see these blokes. They're all tatted up, you know. They've just come on, you know, they were probably a bus driver or something before, and then suddenly they're working at Audi.
Mind you, they're not earning the bucks. It's the dealer. The dealership is getting the bucks. You know this.
Yeah, I know. Still, they've got a fat hide.
Yeah, exactly right. And
So the trip that you go on now, is that going to be a fact-finding mission for the bigger trip later on that you're thinking about?
It's going to see whether I want to stay somewhere for 3-6 months next year.
Yeah.
So I'll see. I'll see what I feel like doing because I really think I've got, you know, I'm at a good age where I'm not too old. As you get older, you become more rigid. You know, you don't want to leave the nest, you know, but I think it's a perfect time for me to force myself out and do some things.
Yeah. Before it's too late.
100% right. Before it is too late. And
because you know what, you can always go and buy those watches that everybody's like Tan's talking about. Yeah, you can buy those watches as a 90-year-old. So what? Doesn't necessarily mean you can do everything else as a 90-year-old, though.
No, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. You know, it's that's very much the situation. But tell me this: what's going on with you? You've added some straps. See, that is pretty cool. I like the way you've done that. Straps are always good things to add there, and
yeah. No, I've added the stuff. I mean, I think that Panerai's got they're sort of known for their strap changeability that you can sort of. I mean, a lot of
yours actually has the little thing you press that's spring loaded normally, isn't it? Is that right?
Yeah.
It's got the little circle you press in.
That's right. You've shown it once before, I think, on one of your other ones. I think it's one of the. I think it's this little knobby thing here. You press this little bit in here with one instrument, and then the other one from here So one there and one there, and that releases the bar that way. But then with this new quick release thing, if you get one of the quick release, you don't even have to bother with that. You just go boom, and you just release it anyway and swap.
Just give me one tick.
Go. Decaying after 10. Yeah. Yes, everybody. I wonder where Archie's going to go.
I'm back. That was it. I just had to turn the aircon on. It's fucking hot today. But I got to tell you something seriously. You got any tips for the Melbourne Cup?
No, Arch. I actually never gamble. I don't even know who's in it, what's in it, or I never do that.
I totally agree with you.
Some people drop thousands on that sort of shit. I can never understand it.
Sorry?
Some people drop thousands on that shit. You know?
Yeah, they do. It's crazy stuff. But
so, are you going to take the wife with you?
No, I'm going myself because we still got the young one. See, so we just don't like to leave him alone.
Yeah.
It's but we got the narc on. What's the narc want to say? Hey, Narky Poo!
Congratulations, Tiff Tit.
On what?
Being the number one simp, you've overtaken the Undertaker. You are the number one simp in the Archiverse. Number one, not even close.
Chief Tit speaks Greek. You know that there.
Shut the fuck up. You're the number one simp.
What's simp?
Simp.
You're so clueless. You know what I find endearing about you, Chief Tit? You're fucking clueless. Absolutely clueless and naive.
Absolutely. I'm proud of it.
No idea. That's what we love about you. You're absolutely clueless.
Yep.
You come in the Archiverse with a plum, right? You come on here, you're lovable, right? A bit overweight, barrel-chested, right? But clueless.
I've got to lose 10.
The Undertaker messaged me. He goes, you can't call me. He even said to me, he goes, this guy, now I know why you call me a fucking simp. He's even embarrassed. The Undertaker said,
what is simp?
Do you know what a simp is?
Simple person.
No. An Archie simp. No, an Archie simp. Someone who, chat, give us a definition here. Right? You don't know what a simp is? I know what a simp is. Look up simp.
The chat to tell you then. Oh, a simpleton. Oh, I see. So everybody thinks I'm a simpleton.
An Archie simpleton. Archie, I love this. Archie, that's great.
Right, okay.
Then we've got Archie saying, I'm in my prime. I could do what I want here. And when you said that, it reminded me of a clip from Seinfeld. Share screen. Here we go. We can't really play Seinfeld too much, but
move back with Lydia. Come on, you're lucky to have anybody. Last week you told me I was in my prime. I should be swinging. Swinging? What are you, out of your mind? Look at you, you're disgusting. You're bald, you're paunchy. All kinds of sounds are emanating from your body 24 hours a day. If there's a woman that can take your presence for more than 10 consecutive seconds, you should hang on to her like grim death, which is not far off, by the way. She's an anti-Semite.
Can you blame? I don't know. Archie, you're lucky you got 2 years. Seriously, 2 years. I've got odds that you're going to drop it on a fucking live stream. Stuffing yourself with fucking Choritos. Whatever.
What do you mean? That's interesting. Why do you think I'm simple? How fascinating. Tell me what it is you think that I'm simple about.
We love your jokes, Narky Poo. We love your jokes, by the way.
You're a fucking barrister. Or actually, no. You're a fucking lawyer. You lack any self-awareness, any critical thinking. Come back and watch these
Oh, my
streams.
God. Narc, what's wrong with you, Narc?
I would be embarrassed.
You know,
What?
are you saying that because
It's Malakas. Let's talk in Greek. Let's talk.
are you saying, hold on, are you saying that because I do those, it's because I do a super chat every now and then?
No. All right.
What are you saying?
Let me explain to you in Greek so Archie doesn't understand. Είσαι
Right.
Malakas. Καταλαβαίνεις? Sons are his brothers, right? I'm like, Chief Tip, I love you, buddy.
Tell me,
And we've lost Narc. He's just fallen out there. So sad. Fuck off, Narc!
You know what? I don't actually give a shit. To tell you the honest truth, Arch, about what he thinks. I like him, but he's a professional at these things, and I'm not, and I'm proud not to be. Is that wrong?
He's a pain in the ass. You know, when I was making 100 grand a year,
Yeah.
I had to put up with his shit. Now I'm not. You know what? I give him the flick. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You're very fit. How much weight do you don't need to lose any weight.
No, I need to lose a little bit, Arch. I really need to lose a little bit. I probably need to lose about 8 kilos, 6 to 8 kilos, I reckon. Like I'm fit in that, you know, I run and I go to the gym and I do all of those things and I can do everything I need to do with my army duties and everything. But I'd like to be a little bit thinner. And that's all just because of the diet. I don't want to make you feel bad for chewing away there while I'm saying that. But yeah. You know? But
I understand.
He's Narc's, you know, Narc's very obsessed with his body, apparently. He's
a narcissist.
He's really into it. Like he knows his stuff too. I mean, he's
a narcissist. What do you expect? He's a narcissist. That's what he does.
He's funny though.
You've got to be happy in life too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Life's not always about. It's not always about, you know, being the thinnest or this or that. Sometimes you just got to seize the opportunity, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what's important. You've got to seize the opportunities.
Yeah. You going to do any shopping when you're away?
Prices aren't really good over, you know, Australia. We're not terrible.
No.
You know, I must say the prices in Australia are pretty damn good. And overseas, terrible exchange rate, unfortunately.
Mm. You know what's interesting? Remember everybody was carrying on about the tariffs and they were going to have a huge impact on American prices and all that shit? Well,
yeah.
I've been looking at it a bit. It didn't really do anything.
You mean secondhand or new?
Secondhand.
Yeah, no. Secondhand's very... The economy is not going well, okay? Watch market is not well.
No, it's fucked. It's good if you're a buyer.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would be investing in watches. I think watches are no longer... They're not in... You know, I'm looking at my... I like usability. I'm actually looking at downsizing a bit. Having a few... Four watches is enough. Now, you don't sell. You just keep, right?
Yeah, I can't be bothered selling shit.
But
for me, they're all about usability. If I don't see myself using something, I wouldn't buy it just because I think I admire the mechanism and just leave it there and never use it. That doesn't do it for me. It doesn't float my boat. I like to think that I'm going to get that because that fits into this activity that I do or whatever it might be, you know?
Yeah.
So,
no, you're 100% right there. It is what it is, you know. Tell me this: are you looking at and buying anything? See, I like to add straps. That's the next thing. That's.
Yeah. It's a way of it's like getting a new watch without having to go through thousands to do so. But I reckon, yeah, I want to get. I'm thinking about getting another dress watch because my dress watches are not that nice. But that's why I'm thinking about getting that retrograde if I get a chance, if I find one in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah. But apart from that, I'd like to get a GMT one day, a Pepsi, but a 5-digit one, the old ones.
Yeah, I love the 5 digits. I think the 5 digits have got a lot of potential. They're fantastic watches.
Yeah. I just find that they've got a bit more charisma than the modern stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The modern stuff is all really perfect looking and everything, but that sort of doesn't really do it for me. So probably a Pepsi, and I want to get the submersible version of this thing here as well, which that mate of yours at Luxuria's got.
Yes.
What's the name? Co is it Cove?
Cove.
Or is it KOV?
Yeah, he's in the next to the McDonald's in George Street there.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So how are you gonna sell a car private? What are you thinking about doing? Or will BM give you a good price anyway and buy it off you? Can you sell it with them on consignment, or they don't do that sort of thing?
No, I haven't decided. That's why I'm gonna think about.
Yeah. But you've already paid it off, so it's just going to be money in the bank when you get that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm just going to have a think about, do I want to do more travel? This trip, I'm going to decide, do I want more travel or do I want to, because if I want to stay, the car's really handy to have.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get rid of it before I have to do the brakes.
I see. That, so when, that's interesting. So are you thinking that if you wanted to go overseas and do this for a while and like relocate for a while, it wouldn't be completely permanent. It'd be just for a long time, like 6 months sort of thing. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you got someone to look after your dad?
He's okay. His girlfriend comes out every now and again. I'm just seeing whether I want to do it or not. I'm just looking at the logistics, you know, because this business, I can really broadcast from anywhere, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So would that mean that you'd be traveling around, or that you'd stay in one place overseas and sort of just rent a joint for 6 months sort of thing?
Yeah, that's what I think. Rent a joint for maybe 3 months, actually. 3 months might be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to just feel it out a bit this time.
Yeah. Excuse me for a sec, Arch. I've just got to let something in.
No, you take care there. Guys, interesting. Come on, guys, jump on. Have a talk to me, see what's going on. We'd love to talk watches with you. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what, you're going to put the other ones in the safe and leave them there while you just...
Oh, they're in the safe.
Yeah. Are you going to do any sports? Are you thinking about taking up anything physical? I know it's not usually your thing, but...
You know, I'm going to do a bit of walking. There's a lot of walking to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, hiking's nice. Somebody said, get a motor van, Starlink, and you're good to go. Watch Azza said that. That's interesting.
I don't think it's that easy to live in a motor van. You know, like you can't park anywhere. People get so funny.
Yeah, they get weird, don't they?
Yeah.
But I think getting into the walking would be good.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing to try. So,
and you're into photography as well, aren't you? You're
yeah, I do like photography. Yes, I do.
So you could combine those two together, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
So what's a good camera to get, Arch? Because I don't know anything about cameras. Leica or something like that?
Look, you're looking at cameras yourself?
I wouldn't mind getting a camera. At the moment, all I use is the iPhone.
I'll be honest with you. You know, most cases, the phones you have, they have really good technology in them. The big thing is that the sensor is the size of a matchstick. When you get to a camera, the sensor is like a matchbox. Okay, so you're going to capture a lot more detail. It's just pure physics. I think you'd be looking at some of the. I've got a Nikon mirrorless camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a professional camera. It's kind of like it's kind of. They have a thing called full frame, which basically means it's got a bigger sensor. They tend to be a bit. I just wanted something light. I've got, and it's also got on the better cameras. You can change the lenses. The lenses are interchangeable.
Right. Yeah.
So you can fit like a macro lens for different that's kind of. I think Leica is really expensive. That's kind of like a rich man's toy.
Right.
Not necessarily. They make some fantastic lenses, but I'd say Nikon and Canon would be your two well regarded. Fuji and Sony. That's probably the four.
Arch, can you tell me this? Are they the sort of thing that you need to go and do a course just to be able to work out how to use it, or is it?
No, there's many Google.
Yeah.
Many Google.
But there's a bit to it, isn't there? It's not just like grab the phone and start shooting. JD says only douchebags have Leicas, and I trust JD's opinion.
Yes.
You know?
Jay. Look, Leica is a very they can be $10,000 bodies. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Just hang on one tick there. So this here is a camera. So this is my camera, the Nikon.
That's a beautiful looking thing.
And it's one of the. I think you're better off to get a camera that's got. See, the lens comes off.
Yeah.
So you can put different lenses on.
That's cool.
Because then you could. This lens here is actually a macro lens, and you can really zoom in. Like that's the whole point of it.
Right.
We've got Narky Poo here. What do you want to say, Nark?
No one buys cameras these days. Chief tip. Don't waste your fucking money.
No. But if you're into it, as a hobby.
You're not into it. You're not into it.
I'm not into it, but if I wanted to get into it, I can understand.
What are we? We're doing hypotheticals here?
Yeah, for example, Arch is already into
it. Look. No one buys. I've got cameras, right? The new iPhones, the shit that you could do with it, right? You don't need a fucking camera.
Really?
No, you don't. The latest iPhones, fucking amazing. Android, iPhone, you don't fucking need a camera.
Well, Arch, so tell me something. If you've got a camera like the one that Arch has got just there,
look. You have
another one can't do.
You have portrait lenses on your
Pickle, $2. Chief Tit, get a Hasselblad camera.
My father had a Hasselblad, medium format camera. Those were the days. See, back in the day when you
know what medium format is, Nark. That's very good.
I got background in photography.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I was a former photographer, right? right? Look, I've used the Hasselblad, right? The thing is with film is you have to think about your shot, right? You're like a director of photography. You had to set up the shot, but you knew you had to pay for that development. These days, it's different. You just click, 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 right?
We got
It's not the
your
same.
friend, and we got the snake on. We got a full panel. The panel's coming live.
You just got to click, click, click. Narc, it's great to see you.
No, I can't do this HR with you on it.
Oh shit! All right, shut up. Go on.
All right. See, these days the camera. Look, there's not much thought placed behind a shot. My daughter takes photos, for example, and she's in marketing, so she runs photography campaigns for companies, right? And the first couple of jobs she did, okay, this is fucking pathetic, right? Did you look at the fucking shots your photographer was taking? You both of you are fucking clueless. She goes, "What's wrong with this shot?" I had to point out what's wrong with the fucking shot. Now she knows what to look for. Lighting, everything, depth of field, background, right? But because you don't pay for the development, you just click, click, click. You don't give it. There's no thought behind it. Am I right, Arch?
Yeah,
Arch,
digital. That's correct, no. Yes.
There's no thought.
Digital.
You could take. And another thing is with digital cameras, no one's got photo albums. My sister lost all the photos on the phone, the stupid bitch, right? But she didn't back up.
So, Narc, is the thing that Arch has got just there, isn't that a digital camera or is that with film?
It's digital, but it's not the same anymore. And you never do anything with the photos. So when you show someone the photos, have a look through my viewfinder on the camera. It's not the same as it was back in the day where you developed them, you put them in your photo album, and you went through it. Am I right, Arch?
Correct.
Yes,
We've lost a generation of memories. I'm serious.
So you're saying,
I have to totally agree.
So you're saying the art of photography now doesn't require one of these type of cameras. It just requires somebody understanding photography.
Listen here, you barrel-chested fat fuck. I could take a photo. I could use my latest iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I could choose studio lighting, side lighting, right? I could make it look like a commercial shot.
Yep.
If you know what you're doing. See, you guys, people who own an iPhone probably get 5% out of what that camera can do and the software.
Yep.
If you know what to look for, you can make shots look like shot by professional.
Yep. And the pixels they're so. I mean, the old original cameras on phones used to be pretty low pixels, count, but the new phones have as many pixels as the Pro phone from 10 years ago. Pro camera from 10 years ago, and so yes, you're 100% correct.
Mike, hold on a second. Archie before said that there's this. What was that thing? That exposure thing that you said, Arch, that in the phone is very small?
Shutter speed, the semen retention.
Well, it's actually what it is. It's
the
shutter speed. He's talking about the size of the. I said the.
Of the lens.
The actual
aperture.
The actual size of the. This is the difference. Is that it's the size of the lens itself. The size to capture the image is the size of a match head, whereas on one of these cameras here, it's the size of a matchbox. So it's the size that it captures.
It's the size that matters. No.
The sensor, the size of the sensor.
It's a chip. Look, it's a chip. It's a chip. It's sensor, right? I've had full sensors. These days it's 3/4, half, right? But these days it's no difference. See what Mike was saying with the pixels. Back in the day, when you take a photo, then try to crop it, you could see the pixelation. These days, you can crop in and you don't lose much.
Nope.
Right? I've got Nikon and Canon. I've got 85mm lens on the full sensor. Absolutely beautiful lens. What you take for portrait.
Great portrait lens, no?
Right?
Well, it's $1,000 lens.
Fantastic, right? But to get it developed, right? The hassle of carrying around. The best camera is the one you have on you, which is your phone.
Right.
I used to take a camera bag, my 50mm lens, my 85, right? I had telephoto, I had wide angle. Because my father was a photographer back in the day. I'm serious, he was.
Right.
Was he a former photographer or a photographer?
So I had his stuff.
Okay,
right?
so Mark, are you saying that it's a matter of working out photography in terms of techniques as opposed to working out the equipment because it's now much of the muchness anyway?
Because, like I said, the best camera is the one you have with you. So when you're out, are you going to carry your Archie's camera with you? No. You can have your iPhone. So you got portrait lenses on it. You can make
They've got different functions too. You know, they've got the functions like where you'd put a filter on your old camera to make a certain effect. Your iPhone already has the equivalent of that in it. You know, so
I'll tell you what my daughter does. Right, she'll take photos. I'll say the background doesn't match what the product is. She goes, "Don't worry, I'll change it with Photoshop."
Yeah.
So she will actually do shit that you couldn't do back in the day.
Or you can even do it before you download it out of the camera. You can change the picture while it's on, like in the camera, and
but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do. You want it raw. Then it allows you to change it back and forth.
Okay.
You want it raw. You want it raw. You want it raw.
The shit you can do these days, Chief T, with the programs, unfucking believable.
So how do you work that out? Because every time I take a photo with an iPhone, it's fucking shit.
If you want to take a photo,
of your sausage fingers.
All right, if you take a photo, Chief Tit, if you take a photo, if you take a photo of your partner or someone, you always use portrait lens. No distortion. Am I right, Arch?
Yep.
It gives
So
you.
Archie, are you going to take that big camera with you then, or are you just going to take your iPhone when you go away?
I haven't decided yet. I might take it with me because I like a bit of street photography. Because the thing is, if you use your iPhone, the problem is if you take a lot of shots, your battery goes. Right. Whereas if you've got a special camera for the photos, you don't kill your battery. So I may take it. Yeah.
Chief, there's nothing like using a good camera with a good lens. The lenses make it all. Am I right, Arch?
Yes.
You got good lenses, right? Not telephoto, fixed lenses. Telephotos are compromised.
Mark, have you seen it all? Like sometimes on the internet, they got those things that go. It's like a lens that attaches on the outside of the iPhone.
I've used those. They work, but you start getting you lose the
compromise.
Yeah, it's a. But with the latest phone,
listen here, you stuttering cuck. Why are we still talking about cameras?
The latest iPhones, right? You can get away with it.
Yeah.
But there are courses on YouTube which shows you how to.
Even just a class. You can take a class. You can take a class at your local junior college or whatever. Just a simple beginning photography class, just to learn the general basics, and you'll be on your way.
But Mike, is it worth getting those aftermarket lenses to go on the outside of the iPhone?
No, I wouldn't go.
No. Your iPhone, unless you plan on like taking on photography as a hobby, your iPhone or Android, like my phone right here, this thing has so many fucking thousands of pixels that it's capable of. You can zoom in and keep zooming in and keep zooming in, and it never gets to pixel.
The older models you couldn't use macro, right? So the latest phones have got macro. The old days you used to put those contraptions on the phone to convert it to a macro lens.
You don't need to do that anymore.
If you get on YouTube and there's a few tutorials how to get the best out of your camera, you could do amazing shit. Then you could download a few programs, or you could do it on the phone.
I'll tell you what is worth it. I mean, I do quite a bit of diving whenever I go to Europe every year, right? And they got these stupid fucking. My wife got one. What do they call those? GoPros. Right? Okay. Now the GoPro's okay, but we got a big specifically for diving. Okay, because now the latest version doesn't even need the case. It's under.
Well, GoPro's going broke, right? There's other Chinese.
Did you know that under 20 meters it actually blanks out and it shuts itself down? It's like, well, what's the point?
I'm gonna go watch Doc's Report.
Wait, how did you get under 20 meters? Anyway.
Look.
How did I get under 20 meters?
Well, I mean, that's the limit of recreation. So, I mean, it does have ratings and everything.
Yeah, it's
but
interesting.
Here's the easiest test.
What makes you
when you take a photo, if you take a photo with your camera Do the
I was playing
photos
nitrox, man, at 80 meters.
right. Here's the test for anyone. If your photos with your regular camera look fantastic and other people say they're fantastic reliably, 1% of those people should consider a real camera.
What the fuck did you just say?
I don't know.
You autistic
Look,
fuck.
unless you're maxing out an iPhone, how could you possibly even think about buying a dedicated phone? I mean, a dedicated camera.
So
Like,
you agree
unless
with me? Wait,
you're
wait,
taking
Ozzy,
fantastic
Ozzy,
photos already.
Are you agreeing with me or not? I don't understand.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying
All right.
the test is if you take photos with your phone and you think they're shit, you're shit. Don't the gear's not going to fix that.
Yeah.
So what has to happen is when you take a photo with your phone and it's fantastic most of the time and other people say it's fantastic, then maybe 1% of those people will get some benefit from getting a dedicated camera. Maybe.
Look, you don't need it, right? I went through that stage.
100% correct.
Yeah, look, I went through that stage. I bought digital cameras. First of all, they're fucking shit, right? They're fucking look, didn't compare to film cameras. Am I right, Arch? The depth of field, the look, it's just different.
What sort of camera are you talking? What did you have? I thought
I haven't even used it years ago. Bought some digital cameras, right?
Technology's moved ahead so fast now.
But even then, I got friends who got digital cameras now. They hardly use it. They like having it. They like collecting. It's like watches. You buy lenses. I've got to buy this lens, but they never fucking use it.
Can I show you something? Can I show you what it's all about? Can I show you something?
I get what it's all about, Arch, right?
I want to show you. I've got some. JD's just sent me something. I want to share it with you and show Chief Tit what is photography about. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, I want to show you this now. Look at these photos I'm showing you. You've got to be careful. There's a few nudes in here. I've got to be a bit careful. Okay. This is what it's about. Look at these shots here. He shot this. These are with. Look at that black and white machinist. Look at this. He set the shot up. Look at this. Look at the lighting. Look at it. It's got.
They're just okay. They're just okay. They're just okay.
No, they're not okay. Look at that. You could look at these photos for hours. The depth of field, the focus, the lighting is fucking. It's brilliant. This is
the composition's excellent.
The composition is excelente.
Who did these, Arch? Who did these?
Look at it. This is JD. Look at backpackers. Noah's back. Look at this. He's got this CD backpackers with art on the wall. And look at these two CD individuals. That looks like Narc. The guy hasn't even got a t-shirt on, and Son Skank is walking next to him. Look at that. It's just perfect. That's street photography, okay? Look, this is Bondi Beach. Look at that. Fucking amazing shot. Here's some cars. Look at that. That's beautiful. Porsche. Look at the colors. The colors there. Look at this. Look at the BMW 3 CSI. Fuck. Look at this.
That last photo sucked, by the way. But anyway.
What photo?
the one before that one sucks.
Why?
Well, it's black and white for no reason. Like, there's no real contrast to this shot.
1970s. That's a 70s BMW. Look, okay, let's
but it's a laugh. It's like putting a filter in Instagram. He's got no idea what to do in black and white. This guy's shit.
Black and white, you can see more in black and white. Okay?
Yeah, if the photo's good. This one's okay. That one's okay.
Let's not be too critical, okay? Anyone who wants to criticize someone's photos, I say to you, you put your photos up and I'll criticize them.
This one's shit. No, go back to that one. Go back to that previous one with the Porsche. That one's terrible. that was awful. That's hot garbage.
You know, another thing about
look at this. This is what
that
it's
one's
all
hot
about.
garbage. That one's hot garbage.
That's what it's all about.
No, that one's terrible.
Another thing about full-size cameras is if you're, let's say, a tourist and you're walking around, nothing says tourist like to thieves more than somebody walking around with a camera hanging around their neck. You might as well have be wearing a shirt that says Rolex and have a fucking gold Rolex on. And I mean, somebody walking around with a fucking camera around their neck, it just screams to thieves like target one, number one, because you know they're going to first of all have a fucking camera that's worth something, and they're probably, you know, all set up because they're thinking, you know, so they got stuff in their bag.
I agree, Mike. Look, Chief Tip, let's bottom line. Can you take better photos with a camera and good lenses? Of course, good lenses. Of course you can, right? It's just that in today's time they're obsolete unless you're using it professionally or you really enjoy it as a hobby.
Yeah.
If you don't be the guy who, and I've seen people do it. I'm going to get into photography. Spend 10 grand. You could just spend 10 grand.
I'll tell you why I'm interested in it. Okay, there's this spot that I go and dive at overseas. Can I show you something on the screen? Like this is something that I've salvaged from a wreck, which is just off the coast in front of our house. It's some instruments from a C-47 aeroplane that got down during the war, right? Can you see that it's just taken from an iPhone? But when you start going like, hold on a second, that's the pedal. That's just some photos that I've got from.
So what's your use case? Hey, Chief Tit, bottom line, you wanted to photograph underwater?
Yeah, I'll show you. Look, here's how it came out underwater. And that's with the bloody, one of those GoPro things that was mounted on the mask, right? And it's not great, you know, it's not very clear. Can you see?
You need light. That's your next purchase is light. It's not a different camera's not going to help. You need light.
Fuck, how are you going to get light down there, man? Fucking.
There's lots of underwater lights.
Oh yeah,
it's important.
They fit on top of your head, and it's just like a big flashlight pointing wherever you point your head, and it just illuminates whatever you're taking a picture of. Yeah. I mean, if you're into underwater photography, there's lots of shit available for sure.
See, Chief Tit, you're clueless in what you're telling us. You want to take underwater photos, right?
Look, see that one? Right. That was me trying to get the detail so that I can work out with comparable photos later on when I'm doing research on it to see whether, okay, this is this model because these instruments are here and these instruments are there compared to something else that might have been 10 years different, right? But you can't get that sort of detail. Do you know what I mean? So that later on,
underwater photography is basically night photography. You need light.
That was a C-46?
C-47.
C-47. My grandfather was killed in a DC-3, which is basically the same plane.
Sent you some pics today before storage. This is from the Zeal. The Zeal sent me these pics. I got to be careful. There's a few nudes in here.
And I agree with CB. There are GoPro cameras for underwater.
Have a look at this. Is this a beautiful shot? Tell me what you think of this.
Oh yeah. Look,
what he's doing is he's filling his car before he puts it in storage. You want a full tank because it's the oxygen that is dangerous in your tank. You know what I mean?
Composition to get off.
And the alcohol content. And if
Yeah,
you're gonna pickle your car and store it, you should also put. If you're gonna store your car, you should also fill it up and also put some fuel stabilizer in.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Because the fuel goes off.
These are for the person who doesn't need a dedicated camera.
Yeah, and these are great pics, actually.
No, I'm saying that they're not very good. So keep working on it.
They're not horrible, though.
Yeah,
they're close to horrible. They're pretty close to horrible.
It looks like it's kind of overcast out, so the lighting is.
All right, can you share screen? Can you share screen?
Mark, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think of those cases? They're like very expensive. They're like about $600-$700 for an iPhone. They go underwater.
5-6 years ago, my ex and the kids went overseas. They got one. It cracked.
Oh right. Okay.
They've
got proper diving ones that are like really big money nowadays.
You can get good ones. You just have to research, Chief T. There are GoPros. Yeah. There are other cameras you can use. But what's your use case? How many times are you going to use it?
The issue with the putting a phone underwater is like you got to use the touch screen and everything. It's kind of awful.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I found this on your Instagram. Is this you? This is you.
I can't use my photos like that to show you. You fucking
Look,
idiot.
this is you. This is you cosplaying.
Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah,
you know, we're all middle-aged around here. We don't need to hide.
Listen to him.
Hey, by the way, Aussie expat, I'm going overseas to see whether I actually want to spend next year overseas for 3 to 6 months.
Let's
Can I just
go.
translate what he said? Can I just try? I'm going to run away from my problems. I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to see if I can get away from my problems. That's what he just said.
I think it's a good idea. No time like the present.
You know, when you go overseas, Arch, they're the worst streams. Because you got your Mrs. Law in the fucking room half naked to say, Arch, when are you going to finish? And you always look disengaged, disinterested. Am I right, Mike?
What do they say?
I'm not traveling with anybody this time, okay?
I don't know, man. I reckon it's
You got to start an OnlyFans, Arch, and then you get like, you know, some pretty chicks and stuff, and you sell that. It's going to be fantastic.
Guys, you got to get away every now and then to keep the balance. You know, you can't just be friggin'.
I'm going insane here, Narc. Do you understand that?
Who's driving you crazy? The wife or the kids?
Yeah, there he is.
Arch, who's driving you crazy?
Arch is here. We got to. Let me catch up on the super chats. Yankee Doodle, $5. I bought myself a very expensive, almost professional Fuji camera. Actually, Fuji makes great stuff. My iPhone takes better photos. My camera does less than nothing. Okay. The reason why this is the case is that the sensor, okay, an iPhone does a lot of forgivingness. Like if you're taking a photo with terrible lighting, it'll compensate. It'll do it automatically. So if you don't know what you're doing, an iPhone will take better photos. But if you know what you're doing, you can zoom in. The depth, you can zoom in. That is so much better with a professional camera, okay? Because the sensor, it's physics. On a smartphone, the sensor is the size of a matchstick. On a proper camera, this is how big the sensor is. See that fucking middle thing there? That's how big. And that's a crop sensor. That's not even a full. That's not even a full frame. That sensor is massive. So obviously, if you're trying to capture information, you're going to. If you've got a bigger sensor, you are to capture far more. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, the photos will look shit because an iPhone compensates for bad photographers. Okay, yes, it does. I agree with that. But if you know what you're doing and you start playing with it, you can take far.
Hey, listen here, Captain Obvious. That applies to driving a race car. Of course, if you know what you're doing. The problem is there's less of a use case these days. Yeah. Lugging your fucking camera around. I couldn't see when I used to take my camera with me. I used to have to take 2 or 3 lenses. Yeah, so I didn't want to use the telephoto lens. So
I don't even think sensor size is a big deal anymore. From a technical perspective, I don't think fidelity is actually that far off. And then if you say, oh, but in low lighting conditions, the bigger sensor size is going to help a lot. It will. That's one of the only places it does. But usually the first step to getting a better photo is get better lighting. So saying that the bigger sensor size is going to help you in subpar conditions as long as you're an expert, it's so niche. I think the main reason to use full frame...
Hey, you've got cameras, haven't you?
I do, but I don't use it.
Yeah. Why don't you use it?
It's honestly, it's too old. I get better results from a phone.
Expat, did you love the Outdoor Boys?
Yeah, I love the Outdoor Boys.
He stopped making videos now. You know what happened?
I just doesn't want all the attention. He's yeah. Yeah. He just doesn't want the attention.
I love his videos, but don't you?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, they're inspiration. I mean, I'm going to be doing that kind of stuff next year. I've got half of my gear together, I've tested out my backpack already. So I'm just waiting for Black Friday to collect the last pieces, and then me and my son are going to be out there.
Very cool. I purposely stayed away from photography because it's such a deep hole. I would have gone full bore into
and nobody
photography.
cares.
And yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares.
Put all this energy into making the perfect photo, and nobody gives a shit about the content, you know. And so I literally stayed away from photography.
Chief Tit, don't listen to these fools.
Oh no!
What budget have you got? What budget? Look! What I would say, I don't need a professional camera. I actually have taken a crop sensor. The crop sensor, what that means is, okay, crop sensor is far cheaper than a full frame. I got a full kit, a full Nikon kit with lenses, a couple lenses, like Narc said. I don't know if you heard what Narc said. There's telescopic lenses. That's a multiple
telephoto. Zoom lens.
Gentlemen, how are you?
I like prime lenses, Narc. I like prime lenses. I got a prime.
He's doing technical photography underwater. He needs a light. That's what he needs.
Okay. That sort of camera is not good for underwater shit. Okay, just get a GoPro. Okay?
Yeah, get a GoPro and get a wrist top lamp, one that straps to the back of your hand so you can put light on your subject.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. The GoPro is shit because it only gets to a certain depth and then it blacks out.
You bought the wrong model, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
I bought the expensive one. What do you think? I'm a tight ass?
You know what my father has? He has vintage Leicas, like collects.
Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this?
Nick Miller, you fuck.
Where have you been, you nut chop?
Hey, how are you?
I've missed you. Where have you been?
I wanted to jump on while you were on the panel.
I love you, Nick Miller.
I love you too.
I gotta go now. Hey,
no, don't leave.
Chief Tit, research the best underwater cameras. Don't just go to fucking Bing Lee, Harvey Norman, and get the latest, the one that got there.
No, you get a lamp, get a light.
Harvey Norman, all these Australian brands.
Yeah,
we never
get a light, right? If you TW, he would say, "What about the extension cable?" I gotta go.
Take care, champ.
They make some pretty kick-ass lights too. Very compact and very
cave diving. They're all lights everywhere.
Very powerful. When I owned my bicycle shop, we used to make use basically a spelunking or diving.
Archie, do you like super chats, or should the guys just stop sending them?
With a remote
we love
battery
super
pack.
chats. Let's go. We got a super chat here. CB, $5. There are GoPro for underwater, and they need no lights. That's a good point.
No, that's ridiculous. No, that's ridiculous. The underwater, deep underwater, 20 meters beyond, there's no light left. Yeah, your human eyes can see it, but it's basically night photography. You need a light. No camera can perform under those conditions. And you're doing technical photography, so you can't give me some bullshit. It's like, oh, I want the natural light. No, it's underwater photography. You need light.
Unless you can hold the thing dead still for like a 3-second, aperture opening.
Yeah, but the only color you see at that level, what color's left? It's not red. It's
blue.
Blue? Yeah, there's only blue left.
Yeah, it does. It does filter.
I believe that they purposefully use orange when they go to deeper depths because it somehow is like.
That's dark. You're talking about the Doxa watch dial.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, it counters.
But they use them on like submersibles and stuff as well. Stuff like that.
Wake up, Archie.
Super chat. Here we go. Hurritan. $2. Mark, you going on Curly's stream after this?
I mean,
no, he's not.
Why? Why would I?
Hurritan, $2. Pick in WhatsApp. Mike, should I take a bike or car?
To where?
There's a coyote right next to me right now, like 30 meters away. I can see him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Big one, too.
Well, are you talking motor, Tan, are you talking motorcycle.
Here we go. What do you think of this one? Which way take, bike or car, Mike?
Oh, I'd take the car.
Candy red.
I mean, I'm a bike guy, but
And we got another super chat. Hurritan, $2. It's Miller time.
Yes.
Bikes are just more dangerous.
I was Miller that brand. What was that brand in America that lost a lot of money because they went
Bud Light?
That's Miller beer. Miller. That's one of my
There's Miller
favorites.
Lite is the brand you're thinking of, but Bud Light went like tits up after they did the, I believe it was Dylan Mulvaney commercial, and then Kid Rock unloaded with the MP5 full auto on a bunch of cases of it. But then he started drinking it after about like 6 months again, and the brand fired those people that were responsible. And went all out into being. They went all out into being patriots, and people respect them now. So
it was the first time I've ever seen a boycott actually work. You'd go to the supermarkets, they'd be discounted for like 30% off, and there was oceans of them. No one was touching them
because only rednecks drink that beer, and rednecks didn't.
Well, Pabst Blue Ribbon is what you're supposed to drink if you're an American redneck patriot. But the thing is. That was an event that is literally marked on like the timeline of the last decade. Like Elon Musk buys Twitter, and then there's the big boycott of Bud Light. That was a big event for the movement. Sorry
to interrupt you, but you guys have had a few of those things happen. Wasn't there that some diner, some
Cracker Barrel.
You know,
Cracker Barrel. That's another one that just happened.
Here's why.
Target.
The straight white men are very, very sensitive, and they get upset extremely easily.
Well, it's about parameters because it's like, what are you? What are you philosophically? What are you?
The problem with
Chief Tate, let me just say this quickly.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Very sensitive, these straight white men.
The parameters of the philosophies are based on Mark, please.
Yes.
They're based on civilization. So you have to look at it from that perspective. If it's the fabric of society,
it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
The civilizational cultural integrity. Civilizational cultural integrity of the fabric of society. The traditional civilizational culture has to be respected. That's what's motivating the founding fathers when they framed the Constitution.
Well, the problem with
you have to understand that context. That's how conservatives think. You're preserving civilization. You're conserving it. That's the whole point.
The problem with Bud was it's a basic bitch beer. And the only thing you're selecting between beers is basically an identity. As in, do you identify with that beer?
But that's an important identity because
it is. Do you identify with transitioning? It's completely ridiculous. Okay, 1% market share.
Well, let me just say this: in David Lynch's Blue Velvet, each character has their own beer.
So
the one character
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
The beer in the first
exactly.
And it has nothing to do
Ribbon,
with civilizational functionality and functionalization.
Blue Velvet.
But it was that
Mike, you
commercial was
fucking
trying
know.
to appeal to people who
Mike knows better than Mark. Mike knows better than Mark.
And listen, you just straight white boys are very sensitive.
He goes, Heineken, fuck that shit.
Exactly. Yes, Mike.
I mean,
yes,
you know what? Really, the one.
Mark, everybody has their own beer. Your beer is like Belgian Moon or something like Belgian Moon.
Beer is for people who like live in trailer parks and go bowling. The gays don't drink beer.
It's the most drank drink in all of Europe, like continental Europe.
Yes, but in America, it's for people who live in trailer parks.
Shut up! Super chat. Shut up, idiots! Super chat.
CB, I'll pull it up. This inexpensive needs no light. They have digitally corrector. Add a $50 case for safety. Amazing video to 120 feet. CB guaranteed. I'm just going to pull it up.
Can't wait to see what camera will handle no light.
Look at this.
I mean, even human eyes don't see any color at that depth, so I can't imagine a camera.
They have a thing called
you know it all.
With cameras. Let me explain this to you. With cameras, you have a red. Okay, there we go. We've got it on the screen here. You can see the one.
I've got this camera. It's
what
excellent,
do you have on
but you
cameras?
still need a light.
ISO. They have a thing called ISO. ISO. You can have 20,000 plus ISO.
That's so horny.
Archie, but the water eliminates light and not in an equal spectrum. It's not like you go down there and you got your shades on.
You're certified to go down to 18 meters, so how would you know?
This conversation is.
I'm certified for 5 meters, thank you. But anyway,
no, you got to take your floaties off.
Oh, too much.
Get a little bit deeper.
But they told me that was required.
You know, but you're diving with nose plugs and goggles. So don't tell us about it.
You're talking about plugs, Mark.
Super.
I also have a hair cap.
Nice. Shower cap. What can you do? Archie, would you like to read the next one?
No, but CB's advice, the Action 5 is excellent, but you still need a lamp.
$2. Too many cooks in the kitchen. No bueno. I mean,
bueno. It's bueno, not bono.
Chief Tit, let me explain it to you. If you want to go underwater, the best camera is really a GoPro. Okay, there's limits. Okay, without spending
No. GoPro's bankrupt. Action 5. You get the Action 5.
If you want
Except
to
the
do
super chat.
street photography,
Basically the same thing.
We got another super chat here. Black Cat 997, $2. Thomas Jefferson opposed trans TV commercial.
I'm sure he would have.
I think they found like bodies under his house, like some fucking satanic ritual shit. I'm not sure if that was Jefferson or somebody else.
He was an elitist through and through. He just respects his preferences.
He was an agent of London.
My favorite fun fact about Thomas Jefferson is when it turned out there's an entire black branch of the family because he was nailing the slaves.
Yep.
I just said he's an elitist. He does what he likes.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of control.
Yeah, that is a very, very true fact about.
Well, because they did DNA and finally they had to admit them to the Jefferson family reunion picnic every year, which was lily white, until the DNA said, yeah, no.
So, Mark, are you in the rural
area?
Subject,
but Arch, why is it your wife's a fucking diving instructor and you've never? I don't understand why you've never gone.
He can't swim.
He doesn't need to fucking swim.
Yeah, you have a buoyancy belt. Super chat.
Exactly. Put him in.
CB, I'll answer that. CB, $5. Aussie just went diving with buddy of mine and no need for lights. Trust me. I was shocked too.
It just depends on how deep you go,
if you're at 20 meters, you need the light. It's not this is physics.
No one
this isn't a guess.
20 meters. Let's be honest there. Okay. Chief Tit, you're not diving 20 meters, okay? Most people dive about 4 to 5 meters. Do you understand that?
Yeah, if you're at 50 feet in daylight.
I've done 20. I regularly did 10 to 20.
That's called snorkeling, by the way.
My brother dove for lobsters and often got down to pretty deep enough to get the bends one time.
You can get the bends from 20.
Yeah, I think he was diving in the 20 to 30 meter range, but he did so regularly. You know, in California we have the California lobster. It doesn't have claws, so it's kind of simplifies things. You just get the tail, but they're real spiny, and that's my brother. My brother used to dive for lobsters, and he used to dive down 20, 30, 40 meters to get them. That's all.
So I got to go, gentlemen. A really fun chat. DJI Action 5 is the way to go and get a light.
Take it easy.
Right on. See you, man.
Nice. My Doxa has the decompression tables right on the bezel. That was their patented idea to put. Because, depending on how far down you go, you can only stay X number of minutes before you would have to decompress on the way up or get the bends.
Yeah.
So for every single depth, it tells you how long you can be down there without.
That's a really cool function.
You can go down to 150 feet for like 3-4 minutes. And,
the U.S. dive tables we're talking about. The U.S. Navy dive tables.
Doc, you are here early.
I have no idea now.
I know, right?
The times are changing. This is no longer a watch channel. It's a politics discussion. It's over cameras and beer.
Politics. I thought we were talking about.
Going on.
I thought we were talking about cameras and beer.
But
at all times we were wearing a watch.
That is probably true, Chief Tit. That is probably true. But I did want to say that the Bud Light thing wasn't fair because you can say that straight white males are very, very sensitive, but basically when you decide
wait, are you being sensitive about my remark about sensitivity?
No. What I'm saying is that
I didn't mean to offend you.
The campaign was purposely to get the beer away from the straight white frat male.
Which is funny because we weren't going to drink it no matter what.
But that's why it was dumb.
It was dumb. Agreed.
That's why it was dumb. That's all I wanted to come on and just be.
Well,
I mean,
according to
basically
radical
everyone's sensitive to whatever they're.
According to their ideology, every single thing, like mathematics, history, everything was white supremacy. So there you go. They tried to destroy Bud Light. Backlash.
Well, the person that was in charge of that campaign was probably DEI, honestly.
Everything was DEI because BlackRock invested into having everything forced.
Chief Tit, don't listen to a retired Aussie expat.
I have no intention of listening to a retired Aussie expat about anything other than Bitcoin, especially not about diving.
So when you're diving, why don't you just turn the light on?
There isn't any light on the. That's the thing. I don't know what to use because I've been using the GoPro, the latest. There was the latest one last year, it was, and that thing just didn't take really good photos. And at one stage, when I went deeper than say 20 meters, it'd literally black out unless you surfaced again. And then when it gets to within a certain depth, then it'll go back on again. So it was literally useless to me.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it rated?
That's what my question was. Am I better off getting something like the Oceanic iPhone case, which goes down to a much greater depth, and then you can use it as. That's what I'm talking about.
That's a super valid question. I didn't know what kind of the case that you were referring to when you first mentioned it, but yeah, that's a totally valid question because if you're, I mean, was your GoPro that was malfunctioning on you rated for much deeper?
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's limited to that depth. So if you want to go down and
so
you
yeah,
photos, you can't use it.
My next move would be to get that case for your iPhone because, you might find the iPhone does a lot of things a lot more differently, including adjustments of light to make it like it could automatically, your generally blue picture that you took.
Guys, I feel like Bear has to jump on and tell you guys to stop
adjusted.
talking about this bullshit.
What?
I feel like Bear has to jump on and stop you from continuing this discussion about fucking underwater cameras. It's retarded.
Okay, you tell us. Talk to us.
I don't know what to say, but we just got to.
Well, talk to us about civilization.
Civilizations. You're Jewish. You should know about civilizations, you motherfucker.
I have a exciting.
You should know 10 times more than white people know because they're about mass culture.
Mike has a topic. Go ahead, Mikey.
Oh no, just something to share while we're doing show and tell. My race car uses a lithium car battery. It doesn't use your regular car battery like you use in your car. So it's only about this big. It's 7 inches by 3.5 by 5.
I'll be back. I'm just going to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Of course you are.
It's not much bigger than this. It's my old one conked out, so I've ordered one and it's supposed to be here today. It's out for delivery.
I never thought about it, Mike. But what is the normal car battery? Is it nickel metal hydride or like what are they?
No, they're lead acid. Lead acid. They've been and are the cheapest form, but they just weigh a ton.
Acid-based batteries. That's like, what is that, like 1940s technology then?
Yeah, no, it hasn't changed one bit. But they work, and the infrastructure's already set up to make them in mass, and they're easy. The only problem is they use lead, which is
they've improved actually over the years to where you don't need to service them like you used to. It used to be you had to service the battery and
you had to add water. Didn't you have to add water?
They've improved everything. Well, it's water with electrolytes in it that reacts with the.
I used to use Gatorade back in the 60s.
Yeah,
just to be fair, just to be fair, the battery technology has improved over time over the last few decades, but
even with the
but a lithium is lighter, but more expensive.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, lithium has allowed electric airplanes to actually be like a normal electric airplane. You charge it up, and you can take off and fly farther than you could with a full tank of gas in your gas-powered airplane. All right, I say that's functional. And now, look at all the fucking electric cars we got on the road, and every one of them is fucking hybrid. I hate this shit. I like fucking old school, internal combustion engines, but the battery technology is what's changed, and is what is causing all of these new things to be possible.
What do you guys think of the Mercedes mild hybrid, where it's like there's a little bit of a hybrid?
I've never heard of that yet.
It's like, look at the Mercedes E-Class AMG, and then it has like a mild hybrid, or like it has added horsepower from its hybrid, but it's like it's a hybrid, but it has like a minor role compared to other ones. It's not like dominant, I guess, or something like in Toyotas or something. I'm not sure.
So it's like 80-20 instead of.
Yeah, it's like an added like if you press the accelerator, you'll immediately feel the hybrid shift you into speed. Like sometimes it can be a little bit jarring because you're not.
That's because of the electric motors. If you look at their power on a graph, an engine starts out making a low power, and then as you rev it up, it makes more power. Electric motors make all of their power from 0 RPM up to as fast as they spin, and then they just make they make 10 horsepower, and they all through from 0 RPM to as fast as they'll go. Okay, whereas an engine's power graph looks like this. So that's why Teslas are so wicked fast, man, because they gun it. They got all-wheel drive, and they got 100%. They got all 500 horsepower that V8 used to make, but they get it now from the fucking very second you hit the pedal.
What's that other electric car brand that's now in the United States, like Revenant or something?
Rivian.
Yeah, Rivian. I've seen. Rivian.
They have like a pickup truck that'll go like 1,000 horsepower.
He's a Croatian guy, I think. They're Croatian, isn't it?
Rivian started out at about $100,000, but they have been falling rapidly in price, and they've just laid off a big chunk of their workforce.
Some of the best tech is a hybrid version. So if you look like the E-Ray Corvette, it's actually a very good performer given the amount of horsepower because it's using electric, taking advantage of the electric and the gas.
Well, it's just trickled down from Formula One, and I hate to see it, but it's the future.
Formula One did that thing that Ferrari's now doing of like adding the hybrid twin engines or quadruple hybrid engines like onto top. Like on each wheel now, there's a new Ferrari. I think that on every single wheel they have an individual hybrid engine, like to add horsepower.
No, I think you're incorrect. What they do is they all have regenerative braking like a Prius, and when they hit the brakes, the braking power goes through the drive shafts and into the generator and acts as brakes, along with the brakes on the car that only have to be half as big because half the braking power is being done by regenerating
I fully
the
get
battery.
what you're saying. No, I get.
Okay,
100%.
but they also use their turbochargers connected by a shaft to the generator / alternator that switches back and forth. So when you pull out of a turn, the alternator switches to a motor and spins the turbo up. So you have full boost coming out of a turn, no turbo lag. Then when you're at full song going down the straightaway and your turbo's making 30 more pounds boost than your engine even needs, and it normally would just be vented off, right? Instead, they let that turbo spin and they use that extra energy to fucking charge the battery. And that technology is going to fucking straight up find its way onto street cars. Think about it.
KERS, Kinetic Energy Recovery System. Yeah?
I mean, if your turbo
can
charge your battery...
Yeah. Mike, KERS, isn't
What's
it?
that?
KERS, Kinetic Energy Recovery System. Yeah,
HERS and KERS. Kinetic Energy Retention System for the wheels, and HERS, which is Heat Energy Retention System, which was the turbo being connected to the alternator / generator.
Now, let me ask you something car related and watch related so that you don't get upset. what about this? What do you guys think of watches that are sort of associated with car brands? You know, like when
they're awful. They're all of them are off. Every special edition on a watch brand related to a car is terrible.
I absolutely agree. I freaking hate them.
I like the old OG ones. You know, like the Monaco. You know, like the Steve.
He's talking about Breitling for Bentley or the Porsche.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Who know nothing about cameras,
right?
And they know nothing about cameras, and they preach this shit like they're experts just because
we were done with that topic.
Crypto zillionaires.
Now, Arch, what we're talking about at the moment is, you know, when brands like Breitling do Breitling for Bentley and all that bullshit, and we're all generally in conformity here. We're all thinking it's fucking terrible.
Tacky. It's tacky.
It's so awful. Like,
you know what the kiss of death for those brands is? You know, co-branding. You know what the kiss of death is?
Co-branding.
You wouldn't believe this, Chief Tit, but Ferrari. When Ferrari co-brands with somebody in watches, they never do well. Pam did it. Pam did it. Gerard Perregay was the original who did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate it. But there's some like Mike just said now, like some of the older stuff, like, but it wasn't really the car. I mean, I think the Monaco from Hoya was just talking about the Monaco race as opposed to a car. Same with the Hoya. The Hoya Carrera referred to Carrera, not a 911 Carrera. Referred to the Carrera race, I think. That's a bit
exactly.
Well,
Nick, you're banging your microphone a little bit.
Yes, I see what you're saying. I mean, some of them are like Porsche, you know, makes their Porsche watch. You know, I guess at one point was made by IWC, and I think, you know, they probably choose high-end companies to make their watches. So that's a race.
One up kicks. Arch, do you do any investing like stocks or crypto? Good question. Crypto, no. Crypto is crap. Stocks, my money is invested in our 401k superannuation, which is, I ticked the box that said Australian equities. There we go, Chief Tit. I used to have direct shares, but I got to be honest with you. The best thing I can do is pay my consumer debt off. That gives me the best return. Pay consumer debt off, have some 401ks. That's the best return for me. I'm terrible. I can't. I see the price go up. I want to sell. You know what? For me, I got enough investments. I just want to invest in myself now.
You know what Tan would say.
You need at least one Patek.
That is exactly what Tan would say.
No, but it is the best brand.
Sell the Breguet and invest in a Patek.
Pontiff, the three Pateks I would recommend, Pontiff, would be 5296G sector dial with white gold, or 5170P if you want to go all the way up there with the baguette numerals and the chronograph and platinum. And in between, 6007A in steel. That's a special edition's Lake Geneva edition, 2020. That watch has the Lake Geneva style relaxation aesthetic that you like on the, on the world time. That's that other side of.
Can you give that, what's that reference number again, so I can look it up, so I can see what you're talking about?
My microphone's so low. Let's keep it up. Keep it up. Can hardly hear you, Nick.
What was that reference number?
Nick. 5205, I think he said.
5205. I don't know. Don't you find those a little bit boring? I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, I suppose, if it floats some people's boat, floats your boat.
Imagine having 5 identical Pateks.
Bores the shit out of me, to be frank.
I guess I'll have to look them up myself.
Where's Nick gone? Where's he gone? I got to tell you something, guys. Seriously, you've got to enjoy yourself. Photography can be a great hobby. It depends what you want to make of it, okay? Don't get disheartened by other people blowing their own trumpet, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Some of these comments make me fucking laugh.
Oh, you can't read the comments.
Where are you, Mark? Show your face. Put some clothes on. Put some clothes on, you animal.
I highly advise you, animal. You filthy animal. You fat fuck.
You filthy animal.
I highly advise you don't read the comments. What is that? You're up to about a C cup. I'm not far behind you, though.
Oh man, you know what? I'm creeping up on actually using.
Nick, you're fucking with your microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but just
all right. I apologize. There's something with my YouTube. Let me just say, I don't know if you heard me. It was the 5170p. If you want to go all out chronograph baguette platinum, or the 6007A steel Lake Geneva 2020 special edition. That one's extremely relaxing, like a world time aesthetic. If you want that Lake Geneva Patek Philippe style. Or alternatively, I would suggest the 5298G, which is the sector dial variant. Those are my three favorite Pateks. All of them have like a blue tinge to their dial, but they're super cool, in my opinion.
I have to say, 5170p was always my favorite of the Patek.
Yeah, it's epic.
For that reason. Until I saw one in person, I was a little bit disappointed.
It has a reflective crystal. It looks kind of cheap, but in a way it mutes it mutes the baguette diamonds and also mutes the sunburst, which is not only on the center of the dial, but on each sub dial has a little sunburst of blue, like a pattern.
But for $100,000 watch, I was shocked.
They were led by a kind of mid 2010s style that not really up to date, but it is what it is.
Man, what the fuck? Are you guys serious? You pay $100,000 for that thing?
That's how much
Which
a
one?
5170p costs.
That thing could be like 200,000 if you want.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The question is, would you pay that money for that?
Yeah, man. It's platinum, and it looks like a fucking boss watch. That, or because I don't really want one of those annual calendar chronographs. Those ones are awesome, though. Patek makes those. Those are like the ultimate boss watch. If you go to like Manhattan, those guys that have the 42 millimeter giant fucking.
Mark, would you buy one of those, Mark?
No, fuck no.
Why?
Because of the cost.
I mean, I don't even like the brand.
There's a float your boat.
Basically, there's an echelon of Patek that's like 100,000 plus. That's not in the same echelon as normal watches, where it just kind of is a hype thing. Like you have these ultimate fucking weird Pateks, and it's like it's kind of like an in club that is very exclusive. Like you might get Richard Mille or something. Is the same thing.
Doesn't it have to float your particular boat for you to spend your money on it?
I just like the blue tone of the dial and the platinum and the baguette diamonds. So I'm not really bothered by the non-reflective or the highly reflective crystal on it.
Okay, if that wasn't a Patek Philippe, and it had a different friggin' brand on it, would you have such a hard on for it? That's what I'm asking.
I would 100% because I understand what the brand is.
Exactly. Bullshit. You would not. You're so full of fucking crap. If I put a
trust me. There's a way to understand the aesthetics of it. Listen.
You would wear my dick on your wrist.
Okay, you don't understand what I'm saying. There's Patek Philippe's that have breaking numerals. They have there's white gold, black dial, chronograph, Patek Philippe, same exact thing, but it has Arabic numerals. Two subdials. They're just so good. It's just that's the model of watch you're getting. When you buy a Patek, there's a legacy of these kind of subdials of chronographs and annual calendars and perpetual calendars. It's super cool.
fucking foot. What are you going to do with the legacy? My dick's got a legacy. Why don't you wear that?
No, trust me. There's a specific combination of aesthetics that make Patek the ultimate brand. Tan is right. You guys don't understand. Tan is actually right.
No, we don't fucking understand.
Let me explain then. The combination is this. You have two. Okay, Chief Tit.
On anything I fucking want, rather than have that piece of shit on my wrist.
Chief Tit, there's two guys that came together, a Frenchman and a Polish guy, and they shifted this kind of mix of aesthetics that you wouldn't get in any other brand, like Wilsdorf for whatever his name is for Rolex, Hans Wilsdorf, whatever. It's one guy that founded the brand. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, Rolex. Usually it's one guy that founds a brand like that has a combination of aesthetics. It has kind of an American, kind of German, Swiss, Bavarian.
You've been talking
I'm talking about Rolex. Chief Tit, the guys that made up Patek Philippe, they were a Polish guy and a French guy, and they were in Switzerland. So they combined a whole shitload of aesthetics all into one. It's not like a usual brand that has its country as its aesthetic. There's English brands, there's French brands, there's German brands. You can tell they're English, French, and German. Patek Philippe borrows from France, from Poland, from like northern Burgundy, from Switzerland.
Mean it's worth
Listen, bro, you don't understand. It borrows from German, Swiss. It borrows from stop. Just listen. It borrows from French, Swiss as well.
Now you got Mike the Snake laughing. You know you're in trouble when you have Mike the Snake laughing at you.
Oh, I'm not even listening, man. I'm in heaven right now.
He's pulling out. He's just getting delivered by Amazon.
I gotta grab this super chat. We got a super chat. We got a super chat from Hurritan, $2. AC3, how does it feel not to be in the Patek Club? It hurts. It hurts.
Bullshit.
The rest of us feel fine.
Anyways, that's my old car battery, a lithium battery for my race car, and I just got my new lithium battery. It's a little bit skinnier, but a little bit longer, and it's double the capacity, and it weighs nothing. When you get it, you think they sent you an empty fucking box. It literally weighs nothing.
So, Mike, would you prefer that battery or the 5170P?
I would take the 5107P because then I could buy 100 of these batteries.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was shocked by the cheap appearance of the 5170P when you see it in person.
That's
reflections
an interesting
or not.
comment, man.
I prefer a 4-digit Daytona to that. I think a 4-digit Daytona just looks nicer and appears more expensive, for whatever you want to say. Appears more expensive. It looks like it was put together more detail than the 5170P. Yeah, it has the nice baguette indices, which I expected. Okay, that's going to really just knock my socks off. But it doesn't. It looks cheap. I don't know what to tell you.
That happens. You have like you either love it, but then you discover you don't love it, or you have pre-existing expectations that aren't met when you end up actually seeing it.
Well, like the problem with the 5170P and a lot of these Pateks is you end up seeing renderings of the watch instead of the actual photographs of the watch.
Yeah.
And I've never seen the photographs of the watch. They were all rendering. So when I actually saw the watch and I said, oh my God, I mean, this looks cheap. And like you said, the crystal was very reflective. It looks dull. The dial looks dull. I was just shocked.
Man, I don't know. I think it's all friggin' very overrated stuff. I mean, it's all fantastic. Might be the best watch in the world. I just don't. When I'm looking at that thing as an item, I don't see $100,000.
Super chat.
Super chat. Hurritan, $5. Chief Tit. To be honest, Mark is a guy pay triple for the same watch, given the Hulk Submariner and an OP, which is essentially the same watch, different bezel and dial.
So a different watch. Sorry. It's kind of like a different watch.
Well, it's only got a different dial and different bezel.
Different dial, different bezel, different clasp, and
Different
a different,
bracelet.
you know, I think it's a different movement. So it's kind of like a different watch.
Other than that, it's telling time just like all the other watches.
Well, that is true. So you know what? They're all stupid compared to my iPhone, which tells more accurate time.
I got into a great conversation today at the grocery store with a guy who was wearing a vintage automatic Seiko, and I run into about as many of those as I do people wearing actual like Submariners or Datejusts.
I'm going to bet there's more.
Chief Ted, I don't think you should laugh at that comment that Mike is making, because you wind up, you know, having flirtatious affairs in the produce section with the melons.
I'm just saying.
Because as we know, he's a felon with the melon. I don't know who in the comments said that, but it was 30 Danny. Felon with the melon.
Felon with the melon.
All right. Wait.
Full screen.
Where's Chief Tit? Where's that fat barrel-chested fuck? Where'd he go?
I'm back.
See, even I get it. As a non-watch guy, I get it. You're saying you can get. You're saying about the Patek. You don't. You buy the brand. You buy the history. You buy the snob factor.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
I get all of that, but don't
No,
you
you
also
don't.
have to personally like the watch?
Yeah, but that's subjective. But you're
Well,
saying
they got to make a model that you like. I mean,
Yeah, of course. Mike's right about that. Yeah, I'm not
Look,
saying
look.
that for some people that's not worth it. I'm just saying that I don't think that somebody should go and buy that sort of watch for that sort of money unless they also friggin' like the look of it and they think, oh, wow, that thing's fantastic.
but you still don't get it. You still don't get it. Right? It's like a beer. The reason why you drink a certain brand is you want to portray a certain image. Same when I used to smoke. I never just smoked fucking menthols. Get the fuck out of here.
What did you smoke, Narc?
Okay, Benson Hedges.
Oh, classy fuck.
yeah.
Yes,
Classy
yes,
Greek.
yes.
Classy Greek.
Right?
What about Carlton?
Surprised you didn't smoke Summer's Eve.
Pipe up suddenly.
No, I used to drink Southern Comfort and Coke.
What do you think I used to smoke, Narc?
Dunhill. I always preferred the Dunhill.
Yeah, it's look. I had a jerk off of a friend who used to put his cigarettes in a cigarette case.
Wait, you used to jerk off a friend? What?
I think it was a Dunhill cigarette case, right? And now Winfields. Do you believe that? Winfields working class cigarettes in a gold-plated
class.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
It don't happen. Like, okay, so the guy buys the case, and then now you expect him to like always spend $1 million on the tobacco he puts in it from that point on. Of course, he's going to have shitty cigarettes in it.
No, look. I know guys these days, right? Most of women that smoke. A pack in Australia costs $50, right? So,
but they got the illegal tobacconist, Narc.
I know. I discussed this in another program where you can get it for $10. The high tax rates in Australia have forced people to buy illegal cigarettes.
Yeah,
the tax is too high. There comes a point, Chief Tit, where you're shooting yourself in the foot. Cigarettes cost $50. Every tobacco store.
Wait a minute. You went from talking about you understand why Patek Philippe's $100,000. Now we're talking about cigarettes. I'm lost.
No, I'm talking the brand. All right, I pivoted. All right. But, right, I've got a Subaru STI. I went for a drive with a guy who had a 355 Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait. You have a Subaru? Hold it. You have a Subaru?
Right. Now,
favorite brand of lesbians
it's
everywhere?
a lesbian car. It's a lesbian car.
It's a lesbian car.
It's a rally car.
Okay.
Now, I made the mistake of saying point A to point B, my car will leave your car behind. He goes, it's not about just the performance. I didn't get it at that stage. This is years ago, right? A Ferrari is a Ferrari. The history, right? Being in that car makes you feel different to being in a Subaru.
Makes you feel like a woman.
Can I just say something for a second? I get it. But would you buy the Mondial Ferrari? Of course not, because it's a piece of shit. I'm not saying that.
But I know one guy who did have it.
Hold on. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a Patek. But if that thing turns you on for $100,000, go for it. But for me, I'd pay $100,000 for a Nautilus. Yeah, I would. I get it.
Yeah, but
right?
Brent, but Chief Tit, $100 grand. The people buy the $100 grand. The people buy the $100 grand. It's nothing for them. Do you understand?
You have to factor that in. Like 100 is just like a penny to him.
CB is a billionaire. CB is a billionaire. So him buying a $100,000 watch is like you buying a Swatch watch. So it's all relative.
Super chat. We got a super chat here from Frank V. $2. Do Aboriginals pay taxes in Australia?
Well, that's a different.
No,
Everybody.
Those black cunts have it all in Australia. I'm sorry.
Hey.
What?
Slow down. Narc. We've got to be woke here. Everybody pays taxes equally in Australia. And unfortunately, a lot of Aboriginals have been disadvantaged with educational opportunities in the past, which
they're fucking drunk.
They don't pay taxes. They have to pay taxes.
But a lot of Aboriginals work very hard, so yes, they do.
All right. I'm going to tell you what just happened now, and my
it's no different to anybody in Australia.
Shut the fuck up. I'm going to tell you. I went to Coles to get my hamburger buns. I stock up for hamburger buns, right? I'm not even joking here. Yeah, there's a guy in front of me, Aboriginal. His pockets were full of fucking lollies and whatever, right? As he said to the register, the checkout girl, "Where's so and so? Where's that shop?" And he walked out. I looked at her and I looked at another person. Okay, he's just shoplifting. You know what they said to me? We can't do anything to him. That black cunt just fucking walked. He comes in every fucking day. He steals stuff, and they can't do anything. Nothing.
Like California.
Unbelievable. Like, what do you mean you can't do anything? You know, 2 cops out there. Because we can't do anything.
Have they legalized crime in Australia yet?
You might as well legalize it. What? No, hey. Unbelievable. This black cunt just walked out with fucking 20 bags worth of fucking lollies. I'm not racist. I'm not racist.
In the United States, crime is
We're going
legalized.
to super chat here. Hurricane, $5. Chief Tit, I've owned a Nautilus and I own Paddocks that have retailed over 100,000. A Nautilus is not worth anything anywhere near what the complications are. Good point.
Yeah,
yes.
I was gonna. I didn't say it, but it was like
Can I respond
Nautilus,
to that?
100,000 Nautilus.
Hold on. Can I just respond to that? I understand what the value is if you like that complication in the watch, right? I get that. It's just that I would prefer the look of a Nautilus, and that I am attracted to it more than I am to one of those old-fashioned style complication watches that are over 100,000 or whatever. I mean, that's just my taste. That's it.
You know, as an example, do you like the Cubitus? Do you like the Cubitus?
Not as much. I'm not really into the. I get it, but I don't like it as much as the Nautilus and the Aquanaut.
Chief, let me ask you. When I saw the Nautilus watch, and I'm an aesthetic guy, right? Yeah. I'm a visual guy. Like it looked like an old 4x3 television set. I didn't get it. I still don't get it. In my opinion, the Nautilus is a fucking ugly-looking watch. And another ugly-looking watch is the fucking APs.
Yeah.
Right? I don't get the love for APs.
You don't like the aesthetic of a Royal Oak, is what you're saying.
I don't get those either.
I don't like it at all.
Well,
have you seen it in person, though? It is different in person. They're much nicer.
Which one?
Well, a Royal Oak in person beats out a Royal Oak.
I've seen them. No, I just don't like the look of them. They look like Casios. They've been modded.
You know what it is? You know what I think it might be, Narc? I think it's because they brought those things out and then a lot of people sort of copied them and now we're used to seeing them. That when we see the original, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I never liked it when I first saw them, Chief Tip. I never liked the Nautilus when I first saw it.
Yeah.
It's like Submariners.
It's not my favorite
every brand making a diver makes something similar to a Submariner.
Right. But then you get on here, right, and it's like a echo chamber. Oh, Nautilus this, Nautilus that, and you start saying, "What's wrong with me? Why come I don't like it?" I still don't like it.
Yeah, I feel the same way generally about Pateks. I just don't understand what the big deal is.
Pateks is different. Look, there's.
I'm going to say something controversial.
The greatest.
To me, some of the Pateks remind me of a Timex.
Oh, the Calatravas, man, all day long.
That's what I'm saying.
But there's some beautiful Pateks, Doc.
I don't care. They remind me of a Timex.
Yeah.
What's this got to do with APAC? The Jews are copying. Hey,
maybe it's
seriously, Doc. Hey.
Yeah, sorry.
They're losing. Hey, they're losing the propaganda war. The Jews. I'm sorry. Am I wrong?
You can't.
Okay, guys, I gotta wrap this baby up here. We got
Wait,
one
what is
more
that
thing.
coming?
Chat.
I knew
Frank
that was
V,
coming.
$5. I ask because natives in America, in the US, don't pay taxes, so boxes of cigarettes are cheaper at Indian reserves. Anyway, back to Watch Talk. Arch, thoughts on the 5227R? 5227R is a hinged officer case Calatrava. R is rose gold. Fucking beautiful. My friend had, I nearly bought one. Actually. Fucking beautiful watch. It's the carry on from the 5127, which I owned 2 of them. Guys, I want to thank everybody.
Wait. What's it got to do with Charlie Kirk? He was murdered. Am I right, Doc?
Okay. Now,
Well,
I
he
want to
was
say
murdered.
that
That's
tomorrow
weird.
is my day off. The day
Fuck you.
after, I'm going to be live from a misty
Just
location.
wait.
Maybe
will
we'll
not
do a
be
political
disappointed.
show tomorrow.
What are you
Don't
doing on
go.
this show?
Don't go.
Hey, Archie, where the hell are you going to go now?
Mystery location.
No. I'm saying you got a full panel now, and you want to go. Where are you going to go?
Okay,
Doc's got keys. They didn't run the fucking show. You know what it's like with you? This is what it reminds me. You're fucking a girl. We're about to come. She goes, I got to go. No. Make me fine. No, we're not happy. Let us blow.
I always leave a bit for the next show. Always leave a bit hanging for the next show.
Let us come. Let Mike the Snake come.
I'm almost there. Well,
He's going to get shipwrecked somewhere. It's going to be like Gilligan's Island, Archie's Island.
Let's thank our. I want to thank our super chatters.
No, wait one sec. Doc, have you got keys?
I do have keys.
Right? Run the fucking show. And you know the funny thing is, Archie's going, no, he's going to switch off his, shut off the stream. He's going to just sit there, rock back and forth, and ponder what kind of life you can have overseas. I don't get it. You're not going to take your son to the
thank my super
hospital.
chatters before
What
I
do you
go,
think?
but here we go. We got Hurritan, Rich Mitch, Hurritan, One Up Kicks, MT85, Hurritan, Walther Glock, Pickled Pickle, Hurritan, Yankee Doodle, CB, Hurritan, CB, Google, Yankee Doodle, Black Cat 997, CB, One Up Kicks, Hurritan, Frank V, Hurritan, Frank V, and Frank V. Narc leaves high like George Costanza.
Actually, that was a great wait. Frank Vincent, that was a great episode. That was a great episode. Only Seinfeld fans could get that. Chief Tick, you've been great today. You've been confrontational. And a bit clueless at the same time.
That's the way you want to leave, right, Narc? That's the way you want to leave.
Doc, I love you, babe. We're going to talk about the fucking Jews.
Simping proud. I'm simping proud.
Hey, Doc, we're going to do a stream. We're going to talk about the fucking Jews.
Well,
we got to call them out.
The thing is that normally we do it, I think, in the horology dungeon because, I don't know.
I've had enough of them.
There's something about Archie wanting to protect his channel. But
No, I've had enough of the Israeli government. Not the Israeli people. The Israeli people have had enough of fucking Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, you know what? The interesting thing is globally now, there is something called Israel fatigue. I mean, that's a thing. You know, in a lot of the polls, they're losing their support.
There's been a 50% turnaround in how people feel about Palestine within the last 6 months. Under 30s, right? The Israelis have got about 5% approval.
Well, a lot of it is blowback from the fact that they tried to claim that Charlie Kirk was an avid fan of Israel when in fact he was losing it and not really wanting to support Israel. So the fact that came out is only going to hurt your cause. I think.
You got Josh Hammer, another fucking nut job, right? We need Max Blumenthal on his fucking panel. Unbelievable.
I think Hammer's the guy that was lying kind of through his teeth about Charlie Kirk loving Israel to the day he died.
Right.
Something like that.
By the way, did you see Katie Miller on the stream? Piers Morgan? Steve Miller's wife. What a fucking nut job.
I heard about that, but I didn't
Oh,
watch
you got to watch that, right? Her and You know what it is? This is what they're going to run on, right? This is how the MAGA are going to split up. It's going to be America first, not Israel first. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's the core of what has folks upset, is that it does appear like, this is all about Israel first. And so that is going to cause problems for them in the next election.
Oh, big problems. Marjorie Taylor Greene is smart. She's pivoted, right? Hey, she's smart. She's pivoting. America first. She's on that job. And when she comes across as rich,
but she was always America first there, Narc.
Are you guys able to hear me here or no?
Yes, Nick Miller. How you going, buddy?
Holy fuck, I was talking for so long that my microphone was fucked up.
Oh, you were talking on mute?
I was fucking muted so long, bro. I was trying to talk about Patex and fucking Royal Oaks so many times. Oh, man, I missed out. Anyway, but let me just say this. The reason why there's a...
Wait, Nick, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Wait, am I wrong?
You're absolutely correct. Let me say this, though. There's a reason why there's a dynamic that takes place here, and that's every single war, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, Armenia, back in the day, right? The genocide, whatever. So that whole thing, look at the Balkan Wars. Greece participated against Turkey in the Balkan Wars, right?
Get to your point.
Every single war has been about ethnic cleansing, bro. Greece and Turkey and Bulgaria ethnically cleansed like 4 million Turks out of the Balkans. They were settling it hardcore. So every country has a dynamic in the old world.
Settling it
shit like that. And it's just, let me just say this. Okay, Chief T, you're interrupting me, but let me just say this. There's a reason why people support Israel, and it's because Israel is like Sun Tzu's army with its back to the water, with its back to a river, and it has no option but to literally dominate any coalition that might form in the entire region, which historically has been united and then invaded Europe. So you have the Persian Empire, you have the Arabic Empire, the Ottoman Empire. And then you have the Nasserists. Chief T, you're interrupting again. I get you're trying to be edgy, but let me just say this. You have the Nasserists, the Baptists.
You come up with this bullshit.
So I'm just telling you the historical context of why Confederate people in the southern United States, or the evangelicals, who I'm not part of. I'm not part of them.
You're talking about
part of them. I'm just.
At what stage was anybody united in the Middle East or the Balkans?
I understand. Let me just finish what I'm saying, and you can say what you want to say. The thing is that the southern United States, the evangelicals, have a very strong support, not just because of prophecy and stuff like that, because they're Christian nationalists. They're like Eastern European Christian nationalists. Hungary supports Israel because they see it as a bulwark that's going to dominate the region, and it's going to push back Islamic.
I like you better when you're on
mute. But the thing is, but the thing is, you don't understand the context. The real context is that every single Muslim country almost is a vassal of the British.
Wait. Hey, Nick, shut the fuck up. Nick, are you anti-Zionist or not? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He's Zionist here.
I'm talking about the context of
Are you a Zionist? Are you a Zionist? Yes or no?
I'm not. But the thing is that
what do you mean you're not? You sound like you are.
No, I'm describing to you what the context is for the imperialism.
I don't want context. Are you a Zionist or not?
He's a Zionist defender.
I just told you guys twice that I'm not. So the thing is,
hey, Doc, one sec. Anyone who defends Israel is out of their fucking mind. I'm sorry. Even the Israeli people are against this. Former Israeli prime ministers against this.
I think you mean anyone who defends Zionism, right?
Zionist, yes.
Clarify what you meant by that. Anybody who defends Israel. What do you mean?
He meant anyone who defends Zionism. That's what he meant.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Israel is for
that's
this
what
thing
he meant.
now.
I knew what he meant.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Look, what's happening with Gaza now? The Israeli people don't want none of that crap. He needs war. He needs conflict. Otherwise, he's thrown in jail.
You saw the interview with Candace Owens and Finkelstein or whatever his name is. They just said in the interview just now.
Norman Finkelstein. That's his name.
Over half of Israelis are strongly in support of what's going on. And many liberals have converted into conservatives, including in the Jewish diaspora civilization all throughout the United States. A lot of them are converting to conservatives and Likud, pro-Jewish power coalition.
Well, I think what Narc was pointing out is that despite the propaganda, they want you to think that everyone in Israel supports this activity. About half don't.
Even more than half.
Well, actually, more than half support.
Can I play devil's advocate and ask you a question, all of you? There's a panel. Okay, I'm not necessarily for or against any of this. I just recognize that it's a difficult problem. If you were in charge of the Israeli government, what would you do?
I gotta go. I'll be back later.
You could do a two-state solution and stuff like that, but Israel sees it as a threat in terms of those being proxies of Iran and other countries that use, like Hezbollah. The Yemenis government is under the control of Iran as well. The Houthis. So they have an ability to have proxies. When Egypt was the Muslim Brotherhood, after Hosni Mubarak was overthrown, there was the Muslim Brotherhood, and Morsi, I believe was the name. But the thing is, they had missiles from Iran going underground into Gaza. Like those hardcore missiles were being pumped in by Egypt. So the whole region has a propensity, if you allow it to go radical Muslim. That's just an objective truth. Now, certain countries, which I would think Greece is one of them, but I guess not, for many Greeks are very liberal, but like countries like Hungary and Serbia and all those countries like Northern Macedonia, they understand the context that Islam is like right at the front gates. Like it's ready to invade like almost all the time. Like Turkey's militarized, like, so they have a context where Israel is kind of like keeping Islam at bay. And there's a Middle Eastern coalition that might form between Baathists, Nasserists, radical Islamists, Muslim Brotherhood. That's the leader is now Erdogan in Turkey. That's right at like Constantinople was like, right, that's right in Europe almost. So and there's also a lot of Muslims right now in Europe and the Western European countries, and they're trying to be very separatist. So there's a large context of not liking Islamic radicalism. And the thing is that the British oligarchy was the one that spreaded it. In the 1920s, 1925, British were the ones that founded the Muslim Brotherhood, radical Islam. The wars in the Middle East, a lot of the torture programs were used to radicalize people, not to get information. They released them to be ISIS and then directed them as proxies, al-Nusra, into trying to destroy the Syrian government. So there's a fostering of radical Islam. Israel itself fostered radical Islam in Gaza to a significant degree. It's known that they gave them hundreds of millions of dollars.
If you look at the founding of Israel with the Balfour Declaration,
there's a lot of radical Islam, and the British are behind it, and it's what it is.
If you look at the Balfour Declaration, that started the whole thing in terms of founding Israel, but it also started the whole thing in terms of a reaction to that founding from the Islamic nations. It's a reaction.
They were obviously nationalists, but they were obviously nationalists.
It's a reaction to the fact that England came in. They declared ownership of land they didn't own through the Balfour Declaration, and they established a state of Israel that they had no right to establish.
Can I just say this, right? Before the English did that, there was a vacuum created by the fall of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire had jurisdiction over what is now Palestine in that area. When they fell, that created the vacuum which allowed the French and the English to go in there, take over, and create Balfour Declaration and everything else. Okay, so Palestine was never a country in the first place. You're talking about an area which was effectively a group of tribes were there, and before then it was one empire after another. You know, right back to the Phoenicians. That's the last time there was actually a local nation, so to speak, that was its own empire, the Phoenicians. And that we're talking about thousands of years ago. Before then, you tell me what country was in Palestine other than an empire having it as a province.
The population of Palestinians are Arabs, and they're a specific group of Arabs that happen to be grouped there. And a lot of them are in Jordan as well. It's right next door. So they're Arabs. It spread because when the Arab conquest occurred, they really Arabized everywhere, including up to Spain and in southern Italy and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. But that doesn't mean that there's a country there that was at one stage Palestine.
You're absolutely correct. It was Ottoman Empire, and before that, Arabic Empire. So
precisely. And before that, you had the Phoenicians, you had the Greeks, you had the Persians. So you're
Romans,
talking about a region which has never been, it doesn't have an identity, right? It doesn't have an identity to say, okay, this is this country. We've always been there. Like the Italians have got Rome, the Greeks have got Greece.
You're absolutely correct. In the modern context, you just have to understand that the reason why the British did that, of spreading that, is specifically because it gave it a tinge. The tinge was slightly more radical, slightly more out of control. And over time, what they did with the war on terror is they got control of Al-Qaeda. So Al-Qaeda became their proxy. Right now, you have Al Qaeda, ISIS-K in Afghanistan. It's fully a United States proxy. Same with the Al Qaeda in Iraq and Al Qaeda in Syria. They're now fully American proxies. So over time, they were adopted into the American sphere of control. Right now, you look in Syria. Jelani took over. Now he made a deal with AT&T. They lifted the sanctions. He's going to the White House this week. That's a good-to-go vassal state. I'm just explaining that they're using radical Islam in certain contexts to destabilize Ba'athist governments like Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi, Mubarak, and they're getting in these guys that are ultimately, even though they're radicals, the British are all about controlling vassal states, and they're succeeding at that right now with Jolani in Syria. So it demonstrates how radical Islam is used to create vassal states as well. So that's really
that's true. But you know what? That's just using the propensity that those people already have to be that way inclined. You can't
100%.
say that, you know what I mean? If you don't have an Indian,
it wouldn't work in Europe, right? White people would be like, what the hell are you thinking? It works with them because that's their traditional civilizational culture of like 800 AD when they were like, you know,
that's
hardcore.
Right. It's exactly right. It's part of their culture.
Exactly.
It's the way they react to things.
But the point
Now,
is,
they were able to hack them, just like they were able to hack. Like, there's certain theories that
and Gandhi.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. Yeah.
The European
totally
countries following the wars, World War I, World War II, were attempting to establish, at least from their standpoint, that imperialism and colonialism had to end. And at the same time that they were doing that, they also made a major imperialistic move of establishing Israel. That's the problem. And then what everybody's calling radical Islam is a reaction.
That was almost like a reaction to guilt, because nobody did anything about the Holocaust when they lost 6 million people getting gassed in the middle of Europe. The Europeans aren't going to exactly kick up too much of a big stink when these people want to.
And what did the Middle East have to do with the Holocaust?
Just to be 100% fair,
Jewish people who lived in that exact region.
Just to be fair, guys, it was 6 million, and in 1990s there was official redaction of Auschwitz's body count from 4 million to 1 million, which drops 3 million off the total. I'm just saying that is an official count.
What does Islam had to do with the Holocaust? I mean, directly, not in terms of a world.
There's some rumors that they rejected.
You're saying why should the people who are Muslims pay for the sins of the Germans effectively by having?
Why should they not be upset about it? Is what I'm saying.
They're fully just taking over land.
He's saying radical Islam, this and that and the other, and I'm saying it's simply a Islamic reaction to British imperialism.
What is?
I'm saying that their reaction, like they're not terribly pleased that the British came in and established Israel, right? I mean, because we agree that the British were largely in charge of that. I mean, yeah, it was 3 different sort of terroristic groups combining, but it was with the approval of the British and then eventually the approval of Truman in the United States. But I mean, it wouldn't have happened.
There was actually British troops in combat against Israelis at that time. What? So I'm not. There was actually British troops in combat against Israelis.
That's true, but the British kind of made it kind of like a plausible deniability thing, where there was certain bombings and certain clashes, but then they kind of withdrew. They wanted
ultimately
Israel
they supported the formation of Israel.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I wonder why.
It's to dominate the whole region, but you have to understand the context of the region. After the Ottoman Empire collapsed, those countries all became vassal states of the British shadow banking empire, which already controlled much of Europe already since the Napoleonic era.
Exactly.
They were able to control the monarchies of Austria, Germany, France over time, including with secret societies and shit like that. So they already had control of big banking sectors of Europe.
There's a lot of argument that the Rothschilds and other large banking families used the Jews as a way to establish a firm hold in the Middle East that would benefit from them financially.
And it does to this day. All those countries around it, like they just hit Qatar with missiles and it did nothing. That's a vassal state, guys. Same with Saudi Arabia, same with Dubai, or remember, it's like they're all vassal states. Kuwait, Jordan.
What do you mean by vassal state? If you mean
means a country that ultimately
one country is dependent on another one economically.
No, not economically. There's a full blown connection between shadow banking, mafias, deep state, intelligence, and they just have control. Like they have control of Saudi Arabia. They have control of Saudi Arabia.
You don't think the banks have any influence?
I'm 100% serious, bro. And they have control of Pakistan as well. Just so you know.
Just said yourself, it doesn't make sense that the British were fighting the Israelis, and then they decided to back them in the formation of Israel.
No, I didn't.
Right. So maybe it had something to do with money. That's all he's really saying.
Of course it does, but I don't think any of this is necessarily due to subterfuge. It's just normal geopolitics, what you're describing.
It is 100% normal geopolitics. That's what I'm saying. That's what I described at the beginning. I wasn't trying to be like, antagonizing the conversation.
You're talking about secret fucking societies and royal families.
That's 100% true. The English have control of banking sectors of oligarchic establishments and gentleman level primary management classes. They invented the concept from Florence to Netherlands to London and then exported it to the rest of Europe, primarily to Germany, Austria, and France, where the Rothschild families went out with branches and they fully have a secret society control.
So fucked now? Huh?
Because they're ghettoizing it on purpose, because that allows them to have a feudalistic system.
They can't even afford to have a proper hospital system anymore. What are you talking about?
They're doing it on purpose. You could have a good country if you just didn't have fucked up policies. They're cutting out a lot of the real economic policy in favor of just corporate plantation-focused economic policy, because they're combining corporatist economic policy with radical environmentalism. So they're shutting down all
Bullshit.
They're shutting down farms in Europe and Netherlands and France. They're shutting down farms. They're fucking up the manufacturing sector. There's no more manufacturing. There's no more oil. There's no more steel. England cut off all its steel production, bro. They're ghettoizing the real economy. It's just a corporate plantation model, and it's based on radical environmentalism combined with sprawl, like urban sprawl funneled by mass immigration, creating a service sector economy. And it's just a corporate plantation with no real economy. That's what they're doing. It's a ghettoization. Why are you
saying they're doing that? Why are you saying?
Because they're like a castle on a hill. They're like a Sauron on his fucking tower, and around them they want to have homeless drug addicts because they can then keep anybody who wants to stop them at bay.
See, the more you dig down into it, the more ridiculous the argument gets.
It's not ridiculous. It's happening in London right now.
I've got some grand plan to have drug addicts around them. Are you for real? What are you talking
100%. About? They're ghettoizing the liberal and leftist white populations to be drug trafficking through NGOs and government organizations, just like the black population. They did it already with the black people.
This is all a natural evolution from something really stupid, which is globalization. You cannot compete on a global scale the way that we are at the moment with countries which are not as advanced as ours. Why do you think that Trump and everybody else was talking about getting sovereign capabilities back by making stuff in the US again? That's not an American thing. We're talking about the same thing in Australia. The English.
Look, man, you got to stay on topic, bro. They're ghettoizing the West. They're ghettoizing it on purpose. It has nothing to do with other countries. They're ghettoizing the policies.
No,
it's got the way our countries are developing.
It's got everything to do with other countries.
Look, Canada had the best
finance minister recently said before the year 2000, when we opened up all our markets to the Chinese, we didn't have any trade with the Chinese. And guess what?
They purposefully deported all
we
of
were
the
perfectly fucking fine.
To China.
We made our own T-shirts. We made everything ourselves. We were fine. There was nothing
You're
wrong
right.
with it. Right? It's globalization that's fucked everything. I'm going to tell you a story.
100% correct. Yeah.
Let me tell you a little story. I was on business in Hong Kong. You know I'm a lawyer. That's what I do, right? Mm-hmm. I was in Hong Kong on business doing a deal with some Australian businesses that were there trying to expand into the Asian market. And I was having breakfast, and there was this really high, in Lang Kwai Fong, this really high-rise hotel. I was up there having breakfast, looking out the window, and there was a guy next to me. He was all by himself as well. And I was looking at it, and I couldn't believe they had bamboo on the 80th floor as the, what do they call it, when the scaffolding, right, when they were building. Bamboo. And I was shaking my head. The guy goes, "You never seen that before?" And I said, "No, well, I can't work it out. Why have they got bamboo 80 floors up?" He goes, "Oh, that's my company. This is what I do." I said, "What, you're in the scaffolding business?" Yeah. And at this stage, I was acting for a company in Australia that was doing scaffolding. They used titanium and fucking steel things from Austria that was really super expensive, right? Anyway, the guy goes, and he said to me, I said, "Well, isn't that dangerous?" He goes, "Well, on average, we lose about 6 to 7 people on a building every time there's a skyscraper built." I said, are you serious? I said, and how come you keep doing it? He goes, oh, well, we look at it like on a cost-benefit analysis, whatever payout it is, it's worth it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this guy, when he came to Australia, the Australian government had the fucking red carpet out for him from the aeroplane because he was a big-time businessman and all of this sort of shit. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? If he was doing that business in Australia, he'd be in jail for 30 years. So we cannot compete with these people. We cannot compete with them. That's why we can't compete with them, because our standards and what's okay in our country is not okay for them. Right? You see what I'm saying?
100%.
We can't compete with that shit. That guy goes and builds some fucking thing with bamboo, loses 6 or 7 guys. Man, if we had that same guy in Australia, the guy would be in jail, not the red fucking carpet. So how can we compete as Australians with the company that I was acting with, who's got titanium shit and fucking things that are worth millions and millions of dollars that had to import from Austria?
Well, you got to understand that the land territory has a propensity for development. So you got to be like smart, like the Japanese, high-speed rail, strong infrastructure, anything you can do to increase the total amount of prosperity of your society through well-allocated developmental capital. That's the opposite of what we get in the West. We get austerity, and it leads to ghettoization, and wealthy people able to connect to the political economy, extracting wealth, are able to then move farther and further
I agree with you about one thing with that. Wealthy people have got international
We're kind of
interests.
behind on super chats, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull them up and read a couple of them. We have Black Cat. Thank you, Black Cat, saying, are we about to hear about Israeli space lasers? I don't know if you guys talked about that already. I don't think so. And we also have one from a Bourbon Heart, which makes perfect sense. Thank you, Bourbon Heart. Discussing world politics in a relaxed format. Sorry about that, gentlemen. I just wanted to get those super chats in.
No, but can you see what my point is? These very wealthy people that you're talking about have got international interests, financial interests. They can afford to do it, right? Let me give you an example, right? These people, they've got a company like Apple in Australia, right? Apple in Australia apparently makes next to nothing in profit because they know they're going to pay massive taxes. So what do? They get Apple, who's one of their main subsidiary companies, who's got the intellectual property for the Apple and all of that, and they charge a licensing fee to the Australian version, which drags out all of the profit and leaves a minimal profit, and they put that profit that they've gotten from their licensing fee in one of the places in the Bahamas and shit where they pay next to nothing, right? So you got some company which should have made $1 billion profit, made next to nothing. They're the people who are fucking everyone. People like that. Not paying their taxes. Guys, I gotta go.
I hear you, brother. No, those offshore banking accounts, like that's part of the shadow banking system. They have all these trusts and shell companies, Jersey Island, Seychelles, all sorts of shit.
Yeah, of course. That's where they have their profits.
Yeah, exactly.
To those places and pay nothing.
Yeah.
I've got to go. We've got the Melbourne Cup on today, guys. So best of luck with everything.
Take it easy, brother.
See you, bro.
Doc, are you still there?
I am still here, and it looks like it might be time to end the show.
Yeah, man.
It sounds like a little bit of a heated discussion that Narc got going. He has a talent for that. I did have a quick question, though. What watches do you have?
I have none. I have just a vintage Doxa collection of 4 vintage Doxas. Each one's like $1,000, but I don't have any good watches yet.
That's why Narc likes you so much. Who do we have popping up here? Oh, let me see. All right.
Hey, Doc.
What's happening there, ABC?
Doing well. So I heard Narc came in and just stirred a few things up and then cleared off.
That's his usual.
That's his usual MO.
Exactly. That's what he likes to do the most.
I want to talk about jiu-jitsu polishing in a relaxed format.
He wants to talk about anything that can create some conflict in a relaxed format. Yeah, he definitely did it on purpose, and it worked very well.
It worked well. And how to get this stream deleted by Narc? This is a masterclass by Narc.
I don't think it would get it deleted, but he might have to make it private.
Oh, behind a paywall, yeah.
He might want to make it private, so we'll talk about that.
Well, we
He
didn't really
probably
say
already
anything
recognized
controversial, really.
Oh, you just talked about every conflict over the past 100 or so, 120 years.
I know, but look at the censorship. Is they're letting all these channels back on YouTube. It's all done. There's no more of that cancel culture. It's over. It's fucking cooked. So we're good.
Well,
no one's gonna cancel. Fuck all. Trust me.
It's more. It's you're less likely to get your channel demonetized as a result. It still happens, but it's just less likely. So yeah. So
yes.
But originally Archie wanted this sort of discussion going on his Horology Dungeon channel as a just in case, because these are his primary money making watch channels that we're talking on right now.
Well, hence my desire to steer the discussion back to jiu-jitsu polishing. I was going to say let's talk about North Korea, but let's start with jiu-jitsu polishing.
Or something else equally as controversial.
Is North Korea that controversial anymore?
I can't remember if North Korea is back to threatening tests, but for some reason I want to say that there was a discussion of additional, testing that they were going to do. So I don't know for sure.
The only thing with North Korea is that they just had a military parade where they unleashed a very, very large ICBM, like the largest one that they have so far. Other than that, they are sending troops to Ukraine to actually get combat experience, which is like very valuable.
To fight for the Russians?
Yeah, to fight in Russian territory, like what they claim to be Russian territory. So those republics that have, quote unquote, seceded, those are the ones that are Russian territory in their constitution, and the North Koreans haven't stepped into technical Ukrainian territory according to the Russian context there. So they're fighting Ukrainians and they're known for being super brave and super just taking risks and fighting to the end like crazy motherfuckers.
That is a little bit of an oversight, isn't it? That you and Chief Tit did not get into any sort of battle over the Ukrainian conflict.
I'll give it. If we gave it a few minutes, if Chief didn't have to go, then I'm sure he would have. But yeah, and there's stuff going on in Sudan nowadays as well. I don't even know what that's about.
I don't think we should look at talking about politics as risky. Like that's a wrong mindset. Like we should look at it like a First Amendment mindset of just let's talk about whatever the fuck we want, and we're not crossing any barriers by being hateful. They're just talking about it, so it's okay. But Sudan is a shit show, man. The North is in civil war and South is in civil war. So,
North and South are in separate civil wars. It's not North
the South
v
is
South.
in a real big shit show, but the North has a big civil war happening, and they're conquering cities. There's a lot of violence. I think the numbers are into the millions. Like it is a fucking like Resident Evil scenario.
It's like what happened with in Darfur about 20 years ago.
I think there was a famine. Like there was also civil war as well. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. That's southern Sudan, isn't it? Darfur?
I don't know. But then I heard that the Christian South is where all the oil is. but then
That's
they
true.
broke off.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
They
Or a lot
so they
of it.
broke off from. Well, they tried to break off
From
and that caused.
Khartoum,
Yeah, the North, the Arab,
which is on the Nile, also connected to Egyptian civilization.
the Nile Delta. Yes. The Sudan. They put it,
When you say that accent, I think of those hats with like those like the kind of like an onion hat. They look like that skyscraper.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The white one. It's like Jumanji.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, divide and conquer's worked pretty well for the imperial powers or the former imperial powers. Then the formation of Canada involved the French causing all kinds of mischief as well.
Yeah, Canada's an interesting example because they conquered Montreal.
Montreal.
After they conquered Montreal, they went and made it like their economic capital. And then when they did the FLQ crisis in the early 70s, they shifted all the economic enterprises to Toronto and abandoned Montreal to just be like a random city. So now it's a very different place than it used to be. It used to have all the banks, all the important corporations. Now it's all in Toronto. And Canada's weird because they actually helped it be strong, like Singapore style, to kind of be its own sovereign state. When there's a country they need a lot, like geopolitically, they'll let it develop a lot instead of being like, backward. So Canada's one of those examples that only got backward in like the last 15 years. It used to be really good.
Well, the Brits had their hand in forming Singapore, which used to be part of Malaysia. The French had their part in forming Lebanon, which was annexed from, I think, Syria, is it? I want to say Syria.
Yeah, Lebanon was just a country they invented along with Syria and Iraq.
Because they wanted a Christian majority country in that region. Or a country with significant Christian population.
You mean Lebanon?
Hmm.
Yes, Lebanon does have a significant Christian population. Actually, I have a brother-in-law who's an Arabic Christian, and he's like his name, like they're super Christian. Let's just say these guys are Christian as fuck down there. But the thing is that Lebanon is just a state that was invented with the Sykes-Picot arrangement after the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and it was French, and they made Beirut and Tripoli into like coastal shining cities of hotels and luxury for a while, but now they descended it into civil war because there's a lot of Hezbollah that they don't want.
So Hezbollah used to be confined to the south, and they are Shiite, whereas the north was considered more Sunni. But I don't know what it's like now. That was a very simplistic understanding I heard from someone years ago.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's there's a lot of street fighting that happens still in like Tripoli and stuff. So they're all over the place.
By the way,
Hezbollah
this
has
is Tripoli in Lebanon, guys. This is not
Yeah.
Tripoli in Libya.
That's right. And they became a parliamentary faction. Like Hezbollah is a very political faction tied to the people. It's not really like a paramilitary anymore. It's really like a political party.
But that's because they probably get a lot of funding from Iran, and that's made them into more than just a militia. They've got political power now.
So what was your take on the politics of Israel there, ABC?
Well, I think this is not just limited to Israel, but if there isn't a problem, there's a problem. I don't know too much about it. All I have heard is that Netanyahu wants to keep the heat off him. There was a lot of political heat on him prior to October 7th, and whenever there's any hints of that coming back to the surface, then some more crap hits the fan.
Do you think that this October 7 surprise was actually a surprise? Do you think that it was completely organic, or do you think that it was allowed to happen for political purposes?
this is one of the things. Kirk, where he alluded that it suggests that it was allowed to happen.
Who was that suggested it?
Charlie Kirk.
Oh well, yeah.
He goes, if you look at that border, which is so heavily manned with Israeli soldiers, there must have been some order to stand down.
Well, not only that, keep in mind, Charlie Kirk had visited Israel several times, so he knew personally what it was like.
Exactly, and he mentioned that. I think he said it on the PBD, Patrick Bet-David podcast.
He might have. It was certainly one of the larger podcasts where he made the statement.
Yeah. By the way, Patrick Bet-David really can speak for so long without answering a question, without saying anything.
The real key to understanding what's happening is that Turkey almost had like frontline bases against Israel and was actually becoming Israel's #1 enemy after Syria fell because al-Jilani and all them invaded from Turkey. But now it's like that's off the table because Turkey and the United States signed a deal of getting a corridor through Armenia to Nagorno-Karabakh or whatever the fuck, you know, they have those territories, Armenia, Azerbaijan. So Turkey's now trying to get U.S. backing to expand like its pan-Turkish empire in Central Asia. So that's what Turkey is trying to do. And now they're on the side of Israel as opposed to really pushing against Syria into Israel. And the Syrians are now actually pushing back against Turkey and Israel. And they're saying to the Russians to stay in the bases in Latakia that the Russians are in. They're telling them to stay instead of leaving. So the Syrians are actually kind of having a kind of a weird thing where everyone gets a piece of them, including the Americans.
Yes. I think a lot more is going to happen in the next few years in a lot more places.
What about the Charlie Kirk assassination? Have you been paying any attention to the irregularities of that?
So I remember as soon as, or a few days after it happened, there was just some footage about some guy jumping off a building or making his way down a building and then ultimately getting caught. That's all I remember about it.
Well, some of the bigger items, the official story is that a 30-06 bullet was fired from approximately 200 yards or maybe a little less than that. So that's item one. Item two is that there was an entrance wound but no exit wound. That came out, verified by video, verified by TPUSA. Most people would say that's very strange. And there was no exit wound, no blood, right? And
wait, did you say there was no blood?
There was no blood at the rear.
No, man, I actually saw a video.
There was no exit wound and no blood at the back of his head. Or
100% correct.
He got it on the left side of his neck, right?
It was coming out the front of him.
That's considered an entrance wound at this point.
That's correct. And that is what happened. It couldn't have been a 30-06, otherwise it would have blown apart everything. But the thing is the guy off the top of the roof, didn't get caught. My opinion is that it was probably a Ukrainian Special Operations Forces guy, and it was made to frame Israel, but it was by like the British and the Northern United States oligarchy that's fighting Trump. Like they're the guys that control the EU, they control the blue states, New York, California, Oregon, Washington, all that, Chicago. So those are the guys that are against Trump. And I believe that Charlie Kirk was kind of invading their territory. They want Utah, they want Arizona, they want, all those other states they can kind of get their hands on, including Kentucky, for example. So there's a competition now between the kind of Trump red state new de facto confederacy versus these oligarchs of the Northern United States and British, which control the EU and all of that too. So there's a big confrontation. I believe that Charlie Kirk could have been a geopolitical statement to kind of, make an iron curtain to increase the fractionation. The people on social media were kind of mass produced to create outrage as well. Many of them were authentic, but I'm sure there was an aspect to that. And it's all to kind of make a cultural iron curtain between blue states and red states and contain the Trump red state rise.
Another element to this puzzle is the fact that, and these are simply facts, whether they can be explained is another matter. The so-called assassin at this point and his boyfriend, girlfriend, were both being Googled prior to the event, prior to September 10. So that's one peculiarity. Also, the hospital that he ended up going to, that Charlie Kirk was taken to, that hospital and its surgeons were also Googled. And now, whether you believe the IP addresses that match the Google searches occurred. The IP addresses were combinations of, I forget one area, but one area was Washington, D.C. Another area was Israel. It didn't specify what part of Israel.
Did you see what they just released with Candace Owens' new information? Is they found an Egyptian military plane that followed Charlie Kirk around the country, and it was linked to the McCoys, who are part of the Turning Point Faith organization. And he's trying to market himself as like America's pastor and Charlie Kirk's pastor, even though Charlie Kirk was transitioning to Catholicism and being critical of Israel. So there's a lot of these like military planes following him to each location. And when they followed him, they have the plane tracked of the Turning Point event in Tennessee on the same week that there was the massacre of the elementary school kids there with the trans shooter. And then they followed it to a different place, and there was a massacre of a Marine shooting up a bar, killing like 11 people. So there's this weird shit of like MK Ultra, and also Charlie Kirk's wife could be a MK Ultra plant because she's all like weird and not mourning and shit. And when she was a younger kid, she was linked to she was a CEO of a corporation in Romania that's linked to child trafficking. So the whole shit is fucked.
Well, some of that is speculative and some of it is fact. And I'm trying to remember where you started. But certainly some of it can't be disputed. So, it can't be disputed that the Google searches were made. The fact that the Egyptian planes were present, that's a fact that you can research, and it's just right there because FAA tracks that sort of thing. And so the rest of it as to why it happened, that's kind of speculative.
But 100%, I agree 100%. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm just saying that's kind of where the soup is right now. That's where the discussion is with the.
The point is there's a lot of peculiarities with this assassination. Bullet entering but not exiting, even though it's a high energy bullet. Well, that doesn't make sense. But that's the official story. They didn't want to say that was the official story either. It was Candace Owens, getting her chance to eyeball the footage to see that there was nothing on the backside. Otherwise, I think they'd have stayed quiet on that.
There's nothing going on except for what she's adding to the conversation, really.
Well, there are other people too who are citizen journalists punching out things, including the IP address thing. That I think Candace Owens has reiterated it, but it was citizen journalists who first identified that. And that's a huge thing, that somebody's Googling this before it happened. That makes no sense. It was a small rural hospital, so no one's going to presumably be Googling it, right? And certainly these two players in terms of the assassin and the assassin's boyfriend, girlfriend, nobody knew who they were, but somebody was Googling them.
Why did you say boyfriend, girlfriend, by the way?
Because it's a man who wants to be a woman.
Who, the assassin or the
assassin's boyfriend?
Love interest of.
The assassin's love interest is a male who wishes he were female.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And so therefore some of the media is actually reporting that it's a female because they're woke and that's what they do. So it gets very confusing. So I'm just covering the bases by saying boyfriend, girlfriend.
Not too far off tangent on that. Candace Owens and a few others were being sued. Well, she thought the
French president's wife.
Emmanuel
Really a male?
Macron's wife is actually a man. Yeah.
It is a man. Have you ever seen, there's a footage of Joe Rogan simply asking the question, have you ever watched her sit down? Because she sits like a dude.
Oh, really? No, I haven't seen.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people just keep it as simple as simple, you know, because men and women do sit differently. They do behave differently because they have
because of the bits between their legs, right?
It's true that women will sit with their legs crossed. She sits with her legs wide open, like on a subway, like a man would, which is very odd. But the thing is, Candace Owens actually linked her to a person who might have been the unknown participant in the Stanford prison experiments. And that person had a French accent, and that individual is all the people in the Stanford prison experiment in California took place in Stanford. All of them have like fathers who are linked to like deep state naval intelligence and like hardcore deep state intelligence. And it's just very odd, right? Like military hardcore people, and their sons and daughters, or their sons are in this experiment. And this one other person is there, and they don't have a name for him. It's a very infamous thing. And Candace Owens linked that person to that. And there's also another theory posed by David Collum, who was just on Tucker recently. And he said that there's a chance that it could be Macron's father, like some hardcore weird incest thing as well. Yeah, like that's how weird it gets, guys.
You couldn't make this shit up, could you?
Well, whether you believe what Nick Miller was just talking about or not, certainly it's clear that a number of the Zionist donors to the TPUSA were very upset about Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but they were very upset about it. They did not want Charlie Kirk to associate with them or bring them on stage in any way.
Oh dear, the mind boggles.
Discussion of these topics, they were not in favor.
There's a really big boycott, obviously, of Tucker and Candace. But the thing with Charlie is that he was getting to be extremely critical. He was going to be so critical of Israel. Like he was getting to be more and more critical. And he was talking to people like Megyn Kelly.
Clear that he was converting to Catholicism. It's just that he was exploring it for sure.
Well, being Catholic doesn't make you critical of Israel automatically. I mean, Tony Blair was a Catholic. He wasn't anti-Israel.
Yeah, but the evangelical Christians are more closely connected to being pro-Zionist than Catholics are.
So some say that's because they want the Messiah to come, because that's when one of the signs that the Messiah will return.
I don't even understand the reason, to be honest. I don't understand it. I just observe. So, but the observation is that there's a lot more Zionist support in the United States, especially with evangelical Christians, than with Catholics.
Yeah, and that's been the case for a lot of the recent time.
So if you're just playing, let's say you're just playing at the casino, right? Then if Charlie Kirk is evangelical Christian You want them to stay that way if you want them to support Israel and the Zionist cause. You want him to stay that way. You don't want him to leave and become Catholic, because if he leaves and becomes Catholic, he's less likely to maintain his Zionist position, pro-Zionist position. I'm just thinking in terms of numbers and gambling, and this is how we're looking at it here. This is what we want. So I could see them wanting him to stay exactly put and not start exploring Catholicism.
It's a true thing that a lot of the evangelical churches in the United States have like a mainstream popular culture tinge. Like if you look at that ceremony they threw for him in the stadium, it was so mass culture. Like it was like a football game with fireworks. Like it's very disconnected from like traditional Catholic like, you know, cathedrals and tradition. Like these are like mega churches, and they can get manipulated a lot. A lot of the pastors can be easily like tied to corporate funding and shit like that. So when he transitions to Catholicism, there's that challenge of not having full corporate control.
Are Marcus Mandel and Angelic Slayer perving over Greta Thunberg? Starting from, Greta would love a bit of action. But yeah, and then there seems to be a bit of back and forth between those two. That's quite surreal. I can't believe what I'm reading. Oh boy!
I will say that, following up on what you were saying, Nick, that initially that I don't even know what to call it, but originally that event was touted as to being a funeral, which it was not. It was not a funeral. So then I guess it got changed and labeled as a, do you know what they officially labeled it? I don't actually know. I just know it started out that it was being touted as a funeral, and then eventually, at least I found out it wasn't a funeral. I was considering flying out there if it was a funeral. If it was,
I don't know. It was like a celebration of life kind of thing. But
yeah, it
Tucker
was a
Carlson gave a
celebration. It
speech
wasn't
about.
a funeral, though. But originally, they wanted people to think it was a funeral. Is the point? They wanted you to think it was a funeral when it wasn't.
That's right. That's how it was presented. It wasn't a funeral because they were all like, you know, stadium and shit like that. Like it wasn't really a somber festival.
And of course, it was more of a political event.
Yeah, no, it was 100% political. Tucker Carlson's speech was like very religious, but so he kind of gave it a context of like, you know, quoting the gospel and all this, kind of like a funeral type thing, which in a way that's what they tinged it with. Like that's kind of what they sold it as.
So it is interesting, to say the least. The whole thing is interesting, though. I still am baffled by how the official narrative is extremely unlikely. And so what's the deal with that? Like why, you know, like let's say you're right, Nick Miller. Let's say you're right. Let's say that the Egyptians were behind it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why wouldn't the FBI in the United States be doing everything it could to find out, well, what's the real story? What really happened? Especially if President Trump was such.
Well, the thing is that the Egyptians would not have been. It wouldn't have been the Egyptians. It would have been like English and MI6 and CIA using an Egyptian military plane.
Let's say it's them. Let's say it's whoever it is.
My suggestion is the Egyptians couldn't organize a fight in a bar.
But okay, I'm sorry. Let's say it was some other country. Right?
I completely agree. No, the thing is that
if
Trump
it's some other
is doing a
country, why is the
strategy-
United States not investigating to sort out, well, how did it happen?
Because there is a civil war unveiling in the United States that's already taking place. It's a cold civil war. The blue states and the red states. And the blue states are allied with the blue state style countries of the combined West, including Western Europe, the EU overall, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. That's the old order, and Trump overturned that, but he doesn't have control of blue states. So he's going to send his National Guard and stuff in there, but he doesn't control the governors of the Democratic Party. So the thing is that there's a context to all of this where there's a prevention of the populist wave, which Charlie Kirk was at the frontier of. From entering into like the blue states as they lose their woke advantage because it's falling apart. Right now, even CNN is talking about approval ratings for the Democratic Party are like 24%, 20%, which is like, 30 points underwater. So they're completely screwed. They're even saying those words on CNN. Like, they're like, these guys are screwed, beyond screwed. This is like historical screwed. There's no one who's a front runner in the potential 2028 election. It's all a disaster. So they don't have a reverse gear either. So they can't just go back on what they were doing and say, oh, we're not woke anymore, because that's their whole brand for the last 10 years.
Well,
so there's a
disagree
whole
with you. I don't want to disagree with you hard, but
no,
my
I want you to
understanding is
disagree.
Kalama Harris was the most impressive candidate in history. And if they want to win, they just make sure that she's running in 2028. Isn't that the solution? She just needed more time.
You know what's funny is as soon as she lost, her husband and her broke up immediately. It wasn't even like give it 6 months.
Really?
Her husband left her.
What do you mean they broke
There's a lot
up?
of evidence that she didn't even pass the bar. There's a lot of evidence that she never even. There's no evidence in bureaucracy that she did a single prosecution of anyone.
I've always
no
wondered how she got through the bar.
There's no
are
evidence.
You sure
of
there's no evidence that she's
apparently there's no evidence she was ever a prosecutor. It's all a mystery, man. It's all a fucking MK Ultra fucking, touch of gold, Midas touch type thing, like Macron.
That's a simple thing to investigate, is whether she has a bar license in California. That seems to me it would be simple to do.
Look, anyone can study for a bar exam, go to a state where it's not as difficult as other states, and cram it, take it 3 times, and then finally get through.
It is a fact that when she was in law school, she had a tutor, because that tutor also became political. That tutor was also a political figure in San Francisco, where she started out as a district attorney. And so it came out that, I forget his name, who was Japanese American is what I remember. I just don't remember his name. He died mysteriously also, very, very strange. But it's on the record that he was her tutor when she was in law school.
It
doesn't mean you can't pass your bar because you needed a tutor. I'm not shocked that she needed a tutor either, because I've actually listened to what she says. But
should you really be studying a course at university level if you need tuition?
Tuition? Or tutor?
As in, if you need a tutor. Yeah. Well, a tutor gives tuition, right?
No. Tuition is just paying.
Tuition's your general teaching and lectures.
Tuition is paying for
seminars
school in this
and.
Yeah,
but
in American English, tuition is the price you pay to get into the university.
But the tutor is somebody who's providing learning.
But we get what you're saying. Tuition,
private lessons on the side.
British English is it's your teacher that teaches you the subject matter.
Yeah, I mean, getting private lessons on the side. Should you be studying that subject at university level if that's what you need? I know loads of people do it, but I don't know. But I guess something like law, which is very intensive, very vast, probably does have a market for that. Probably medicine as well.
Well, here's an interesting thing. She went to Canada and was raised there essentially. Yeah, she spent early life in the San Francisco area until somewhere between 5 and 10 years old, and then off to Canada she went. And that's where her scholastics took place until she went to college. When she chose to go to college, she chose a historically black college to go to. Now, this is a different controversy, but she's not black. She
seems to have washed her ethnicity somewhat.
Well, she's East Indian from her mother, and her father's Jamaican, descendant of slave owners. But slave owners in Jamaica are not black. They're white, and also there's record of some being Indian. So it makes more sense since her mother was from the high caste in India, and I can't remember what they call that honestly, but anyway, her mother was upper crust. Let's call it that, because most people understand what upper crust is. So her mother was upper crust. Are they really going to let the father come in who was the opposite of that? No,
Not likely.
not likely. And also he's the one who's a Stanford professor. So they were both PhDs at the time, or PhD candidates at the time that they got together, the mother and the father. So it makes no sense that he would be Jamaican and black, but also Candace Owens investigated that and talked to enough people that I'm convinced. But I'm already convinced on the surface because it's already on the record that he was a descendant of slave owners, and there are no black African slave owners in Jamaica. No,
it's interesting.
no
She
African
was
slave owner families.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that her father was from a professor at Stanford, Columbia, Johns Hopkins, Harvard, Yale. Those are all like deep state controlled 100%. So that's like CIA linked basically. Whereas a lot of other smaller colleges don't have that. Like CIA, like Cornell University doesn't have that CIA control. It's just those big ones do. So she was part of the establishment in a lot of ways. And then what happened was she had a mentor. I believe it was maybe, I forget, it was the governor or somebody, but they made her, after a sexual relationship, she became the chief prosecutor.
You're talking about someone named Willie Brown, who was the mayor in San Francisco.
That's right. The mayor. There you go. That's correct. Yeah.
And he was the one who got her first gig, her first job. And you're right. While on the record, and he went on the record to say to confirm that he had been dating her. So all that's true. He confirmed it. He confirmed it in interview, and he confirmed it in writing. And interestingly, he confirmed it when she was running for president 2020. So that tells me that maybe he wasn't a big fan of hers, because he could have just kept quiet.
Maybe it wasn't in his interest to, well, maybe it was in his interest to kiss and tell, pardon the pun.
They have her under control. That's for 100%. And Tim Waltz is this person that's very shady as well, like linked to like dark fucking shit. Like seriously, like dark stuff, like young kids, you know what I mean? Like, and transgenders, like that, all that whole agenda. Tim Waltz is a sketchy character as well. So that whole thing is like a setup. What's interesting though is that her last.
It's a fact that Tim Walz lied about his military experience.
That as well, 100%. And JD Vance called him out. But the thing is that there's a thing where they're completely controlled to a degree where, for some reason, I don't know why they did this. They obviously control the interviews. Why did they release the last interview with Kamala? It was political suicide, what they did with the interview. Like, she's just a terrible interviewee. And
but not only that, it was stupid on their part. It was stupid on their part to have a live version. They know the way things work now. I think everybody in charge, they operate like it's 1960, because to release a live version of the interview, obviously people are going to compare that to the one that was aired on the television. It's dumb. They obviously had to be desperate to doctor it, because it's dumb otherwise. I mean, if you have a live version that somebody can get their hands on X or whatever platform, that's just dumb then to modify it.
You know what's funny is that same guy I mentioned before, Dave Cullum, he's an academic. He said that he's skeptical of her history and stuff, because when she didn't have a teleprompter, the last sentence that she read off the teleprompter was, "We have 30 days to go," or something like that. and the teleprompter shuts down, and then she starts repeating the phrase 30 days, 30 days this, 30 days that, like 5 times in a row. They started calling her 30 days Kamala or something.
Well, they're waiting. She was clearly waiting for the teleprompter to get fixed.
She couldn't do anything without it. Like,
and she didn't know what to say, so she just.
But I'm just saying, these guys that are on these podcasts that are talking about like this deep state stuff, some of them are suggesting that that's proof that she was like hypnotized and brainwashed because it's just a fucking fry case, you know?
Yeah, I just think it's proof. I just think it's proof that she's not terribly bright.
I agree.
But it was very impressive that she couldn't come up with anything. But there's been some footage of even Obama doing that. You know, everybody used to say Obama was so eloquent and this and that and the other, but there's footage of him stumbling once the teleprompter failed. So, I mean, it definitely happens. And I think there's a little bit of pot calling kettle black here in that, you know, part of that's the Democrat side wanting to say that Trump is just like Biden, he's inarticulate, he's losing his mind, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, Trump wasn't even on a teleprompter. In fact, they wanted to keep him on a teleprompter, and he's like, no. Even if there's a teleprompter, he goes off prompt.
Yeah, at the UN, he went off prompt for like an hour and a half.
Always does that. He's always got something to say. He doesn't ever seem to be at a loss for words.
He's a showman, but I don't like how he'll have certain policies. Like it makes sense that he'll say certain things that he knows is not true, but then he does like he uses it to justify certain policies, but his real policy is something around the side. Like it's not that even, like it's something else. Like he'll use a justification, like going after Venezuela, but he's going after Mexico and Colombia and the whole region. And like he'll use this like drug boats thing, and it's like it's not even the fentanyl that's coming out of there, it's coming out of Mexico. You know what I mean? Like there's certain excuses that he gives, and he knows it's not true. Or about the Ukraine war, with like he'll copy Kellogg's advice that's straight from Ukrainian intelligence. Like the Russians are losing, the Russian economy is collapsing. He knows it's not true because he has people like JD Vance who knows the truth telling him, and so he knows it's not true, but he'll say it. And he's trying to speed up the war, like make the Russians, speed up the conquest or finish the war somehow. Even if he doesn't care how it ends, he just wants to shift America's focus out of there and then go to like the Middle East or China or Venezuela. You know what I mean? So it's not ever like a direct thing that he's trying to do in some ways.
Well, he's always had the style of embellishment. That's for sure. That's part of his persuasion. That's part of his talent for persuasion. And most of the time when he's doing that, it's clear that, you know, he doesn't mean whatever it is literally. He's just trying to move. He's just trying to move the thought to ahead to whatever he wants to move forward to. But I'm just trying to figure out at this point whether his hands are somehow tied, whether he's got his arm being yanked behind his back, or if this is the true Trump and he's doing what he always intended to do. I think it's the former, because even if something as simple as the Epstein files, right? Why would you campaign for president and constantly talk about releasing Epstein files when you have no intention to do so? Or even better, if you think that you can't release the Epstein files because you're implicated, because of course.
Well, you know about Whitney Webb and her book, right?
I haven't read the book yet. I've listened.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've listened.
And you know about Mike
No,
Pence.
who's Whitney Webb? Sorry, Nick. Who's Whitney
She's an
Webb?
investigative journalist.
Oh, okay.
So she wrote this book, something blackmail or country by black. I forget what it's called. But the thing is, her and Mike Benz have released basically all of the information pertaining to the fact that Epstein was linked to Jamal Khashoggi, who was an arms trafficker working for the Israelis, the English, and that was the Iran Contra. They were giving weapons to Iran. The profits were being used to finance the Contra rebels in Nicaragua, and that was the whole thing. And that operation is linked to the Rockefellers. So the Rockefellers in the United States are behind these players. It's known that Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, was a Rothschild agent. He was a Rothschild agent as well as Mossad. He was sent to New York as the Rothschild's representative, and basically Epstein took his role. So the whole thing is like, and Jamal Khashoggi's role, and Jamal Khashoggi also had a yacht where he had young girls. So that was all about like juicing the deals and blackmail, just like they were doing with J. Edgar Hoover before.
In fact, Ghislaine's father died almost as mysteriously as Epstein died.
So about Jamal Khashoggi, I know his brother was an arms dealer. I didn't know he was also involved in that.
I believe it's been reported that he was.
Okay. Yeah, so he's got an older brother, Adnan Khashoggi, and he was an arms dealer.
I'm sorry. It was Adnan. You're correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Jamal was the more sort of journalist type.
Yeah, Jamal was the guy who was murdered in Turkey by Saudi Arabian intelligence in the
Saudi
embassy.
Saudi
He was working
consulate.
for like Washington Post or something.
Who you were saying?
Yeah, he wrote an article in the Washington Post that criticized the Saudi government.
Yeah, Jamal was a different person, but he's a relative. The Khashoggi family is a really big
His
elite
brother,
family.
Adnan's brother. From what I heard, he was his brother, but anyway, I might be wrong. But you know, he might be like a half brother. There's a lot of that goes on. Whatever.
Yeah.
So who's the next big Democrat name for the next election?
Well, depends on who you like. One name that's definitely going to be a consideration right now is Gavin Newsom. And I think that, at least in the United States, people who are watching California know that he's not been good for California. But most people don't pay attention to California to that extent, to California politics. So a lot of people outside of California who are Democrats think very highly of Gavin Newsom, is what I'm saying. There were rumors that Kamala Harris might run again. She hasn't confirmed or denied. If she runs in the primary process, she'll lose very badly, just like she did 2020. She didn't even make it to the ballots for 2020. She dropped out before they even started voting.
Yeah, she rode on the coattails of Joe Biden by becoming his running mate, and then as he lost his marbles, she stepped in and assumed duties.
There's even a lot of conspiracy theories about that, because one of the theories is when it was first announced that Biden wasn't running, it's unclear whether Biden announced it or whether it was announced for him. Sort of like the auto pin sort of thing, right? You know about the auto pins, right? Really quickly, when bills have been signed, apparently sometime around George Bush or maybe Obama era, they created an automatic pin that would copy the signature, so it wasn't actually the president signing it. It was a machine copying the president's signature.
It did actually exist, Doc, in the JFK time and Eisenhower as well. They just didn't use it that much. There was a machine that did the auto pen signature.
But you're right. They were doing it even back then.
Yeah, they did. But no, they started doing it all the time, and there was like a bureaucracy around Biden that basically controlled his signature. He wasn't even aware of some of the things that he signed, like sanctions or lifting of sanctions or whatever. Like he just didn't know about it. And so his pardons are null and void that he gave to people, including Fauci.
In the same way that the auto pin was happening, his announcement that he was no longer going to be running for president, How was that announcement made? My memory is it was made on Twitter with a document that had an odd signature on it. That's my memory. Does that sound right, Nick? ABC?
I don't know about this auto pen thing. First
Well,
I've heard of
it
it.
wasn't an auto pin that I was bringing up. It was similar to the auto pin, and it.
Do you remember how Biden gave his resignation, dude? He was like, they gave out a letter without him even knowing about the letter about him resigning.
It appeared he didn't
and then
know
he went
about
to
the letter, but for certain,
Yeah.
the signature was questionable as to whether it was his. Is
Right?
my point.
Exactly. So they're doing this like hardcore.
But in the initial letter, it never said who was going to take the mantle. It just said he was not going to run for president. He was going to drop out. That was the initial letter. So then the conspiracy theory is that he didn't want that. And clearly in videos, there's plenty of videos out there where he was saying he wasn't going to step down and he was going to beat Trump. So somebody made the decision for him. So one of the rumors and conspiracy theories is that after the letter was generated, just simply saying he wasn't running for president, that he and Jill Biden, you can figure out which one was spearheading it, decided that they were going to lock the DNC into position by claiming that it was going to be Kamala Harris. So they simply sent out another tweet saying that they fully endorse Kamala Harris for president. Does that sound familiar, Nick?
So how long before was there a point where Kamala was actually president?
No, she was never. She was only a vice
There could have
president.
been.
I'm not sure about that. What you just said.
There could have
I'm not
been.
sure.
There could have been if Biden had said that because of my situation, I'm resigning my presidency. Then Kamala Harris would have been president up until the election.
Calamity Harris.
So she could have been the first female president if Biden had simply resigned his presidency. Presumably, they couldn't force him to do that one. But that would have been a way. That would have been a way to have the first female president. He resigns.
Do you remember how they did it? They had a fundraising event and they brought out George Clooney to fucking nuke Joe Biden. And now George Clooney this week, I think it was yesterday or today, just said it was wrong to put Kamala in Biden's place. So that was actually Obama used Clooney as a pawn, and now Clooney is trying to not be politically tied to that legacy.
I don't remember if Clooney was behind Kamala Harris at the time. Clooney was simply in favor of Joe Biden dropping out.
That's correct. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I'm saying that the entire time that they were doing this, they were never making a point of saying who's going to take Biden's place. And it wasn't until Joe Biden himself or someone for him sends out a tweet saying we fully endorse and support Kamala Harris. That's the first, to my memory, that's the first that it was ever said that we're behind Kamala Harris, is when Biden said he fully endorsed and supported her after they took the presidency away from him.
Yeah, I think they have a thing about like just muscling in legislation by making it like official by saying it, even if the president or someone else says the opposite. Like Marco Rubio will just say like the opposite of what Trump says about Tomahawk missiles, and no one will say anything. And they'll try to shift policy based on us telling their proxies to say stuff. So in this situation, they'll just come out and say, "Oh, Hillary beat Bernie Sanders. That's it," and then you just accept it. So when they're trying to do that with Kamala, and they succeeded. They just put her in,
So hold on. When he lost the presidency, so who was technically running the country?
What do you mean when he lost the presidency?
When he was relinquished somehow of the presidency.
So Joe Biden relinquished his efforts to be re-elected as president. He was still president, but he simply was no longer.
I see. So right until the very end, he was
he wrote
officially
out his
the
whole
president.
Term. That's right.
Okay.
But that's why I'm saying that we could have had a female president for the first time had he resigned at the moment that he was saying he was unable to run for president. Because presumably, if he wasn't able to run for president, he should also have not been able to continue being president for whatever the exact same reasons. He never was it mentioned that because of my dementia, I can't run for president.
That's exactly right. If they had removed him from power prior to the end of his term, there would have been a connotation of saying he had cognitive decline, and that could have been used as a justification to nullify some of his things, like pardons for his own son, who was involved in the Burisma scandal in Ukraine, and they were kicking up to the big guy, who was Joe Biden. And there's so he's covering his own family by staying in power until the very end. So there's plausible deniability that he wasn't in cognitive decline, which is what they were hiding the whole presidency.
I've just seen that Curly is about to start a stream.
Oh, so we're rebel streaming Curly? Is that what you're saying? We're rebel streaming Curly right now?
No, but on the thumbnail is an image of what's her name, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, so he's going to talk about Charlie Kirk.
It's called Political
I actually think
Gangsters or Grifters.
It might be fun to hop over there, all three of us.
Oh, wait a minute. Does it happen to say anything about Doc BBW on that?
Just says Political Gangsters or Grifters, and there's it's kind of like a mock rap album cover of Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson wearing a cap reverse backwards and a curb link chain.
We were trying to do a political show on Mondays because Archie wasn't doing Mondays, but now for the last several Mondays, he's decided he's taking off on Tuesdays.
Well, his intros are quite long anyway, so we can probably keep talking for a little bit more before he gets warmed up.
Well, you've been on Curly's platform, haven't you, Nick?
I have on occasion, yeah.
And ABC, you've been on there, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought that question was at me. Yeah, I've been on there on occasion, yeah, but it's been quite a while since I've spoken to him on his stream. Well, he was on the LUXURIA, the Dungeon a couple of days ago, where he happened to be on there and had a chat with him. What was I going to say, Nick?
The point of my statement is simply, if we're having energy about it, we could just go on his stream.
Yeah, kind of like a continue where we left off.
Exactly. If he's got a picture of Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, then clearly that's a reference to TPUSA and Charlie Kirk.
What's the name of Curly's channel?
The franchise
clubs, right?
Yeah, franchise club.
Nice. Yeah. We should hop over if you guys want.
Now the thing is that I do not have a link, but presumably he puts the link out when he starts the show. Usually Tommy sends me a link, unless he sent me one and I didn't notice.
There was a stream on Curly's channel a couple of days ago where Tommy was on. Could have even been yesterday as well.
Well, Tommy's on some of the other streams besides some of the park bench streams, but when we do the political thing, it's usually Tommy, myself, and then Curly's at the helm.
I did want to speak to Nick, obviously not now, but I did want to speak just to get an idea of the Balkans War that happened in the early 90s, because I remember it from a certain point of view. I was 17 at the time, and then it's only years later when I saw this BBC documentary called Yugoslavia, Death of a Nation, or The Death of Yugoslavia, or something like that. And it gave I think it gave a wider range of insights into what was going on in the lead up to the crap hitting the fan, basically.
So I don't. All I know about Balkans War is sometime around the 1920s, but then was it labeled like, was it that Yugoslavian thing maybe?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
no?
I'm talking about the early 90s when first Serbia and Croatia were at war, and then Bosnia came in, and well, the Bosnia got involved, and then that's when things really got mental.
Perhaps that's
Here, I'll tell you really quickly. Basically, the
trying to
Serbs
bring
were
Bear
the
in the equation.
Yeah.
So the Serbs were the underpinning of the state in terms of the core society population. They had pockets of population all around the other republics. There was Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia. So that's the main area that there was wars. Slovenia broke off, Macedonia broke off, and then Montenegro is part of Serbia. It's called Yugoslavia. But the thing is, the Serbs felt threatened because the Croats got a whole bunch of CIA money, and they had leaders who were wearing like Nazi uniforms from World War II and changing the currency to Nazi Croat currency, the kuna, which is their current currency. They switched the euro, but whatever. So they had the whole bunch of these things that they were seeing a rejuvenation of fascism, and the Serbs actually experienced like an actual genocide, like hundreds of thousands of people killed. So they didn't want to have a repeat of that. They had their own territories they lived in Croatia, and they started putting up roadblocks because what happened was George H.W. Bush signed a thing where no more aid would go to Yugoslavia in any form, and they would sanction the Serbs and all of this. So they were giving a lot of money to the Croats for a breakaway movement. It's basically a color revolution that they're just using all over the world all the time. So the Croats became a U.S. proxy, and the Serbs put up roadblocks, and there was tensions in Croatia because of this and killings and stuff. But what really happened to kick off the war was there was a Lisbon Treaty agreed in Portugal where the Serbs, Croats, and Muslims all agreed to specific boundaries within Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then on the petitioning of the U.S. ambassador to Bosnia, Zimmerman, I believe his name was, Alija Izetbegovic was convinced to not accept the treaty he had already basically accepted but didn't sign, and that kicked off the war because there could have been a peace treaty off the bat, but the Muslims withdrew. So the whole concept of what's going on is there's still the same conflict, and that's Bosnia wants to have full Muslim control over Serbian territories and Croatian territories within the boundaries of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So half the territory right now is a Republika Srpska, a quasi-sovereign territory of just Serbs almost. And then there's the Bosnian Croat Federation, which is the other half of the territory. And the Bosniaks control Sarajevo, whereas the Croats are in a place called Herceg Bosna, close to Dalmatia, and they actually want to separate. So they're actually like the Serbs, they want to separate from the Bosniaks, but the Bosniaks want to have their own little Yugoslavia where they dominate and make control over the whole territory, even though they don't control the whole territory. So they have an oversight of this foreign appointed representative, like a high representative, whatever. It's like a governor appointed by the Western powers. His name is Schmidt, German guy, and he's giving orders to Republika Srpska to forego its sovereignty. Republika Srpska says no, and ultimately you get a scandal where they put sanctions on the leader of Republika Srpska called Milorad Dodik, and they just lifted those sanctions recently. There's going to be elections there in November because he stepped down. So the whole situation's all about Bosniaks trying to control more than they really have, whereas during the war, the Serbs were getting like a 3-to-1 kill ratio against both the Bosniaks and the Croats. The main war was going on with the Bosniaks and the Serbs in Bosnia. That's really where most of it was happening.
Interesting.
I don't really know much about that particular conflict.
Yeah, just that in Britain, a lot of people came as refugees. So, you know, some Croats, but a lot of Bosnians came as well. And we got to hear that side of things. But then you know, as you get older, you realize, you know what, maybe there are other sides to stories. So yeah, just okay. So is Kosovo? Is it like a piece of land that got given to the Albanians from Turkey?
No.
Something like that?
Basically, Kosovo is the heartland of Serbia in the south of Serbia, and it was settled by Albanians because it borders Albania with the permission of the communists all throughout 1945 to 1990, before the 1990s wars. They were allowing Albanians to settle there because they had a policy of breaking up Serbian dominance because they could just have like Serbian nationalism over to the communists potentially. So the leader of the communists for a long time was Josip Broz Tito, who was a Slovene Croat. He was
Yeah, he's the
based
one
in
who
Belgrade.
ruled Yugoslavia for decades, right?
Yeah, but they didn't want to have the Serbs be dominant, so they split off Vojvodina, which is the northern province of Serbia, and they split off Kosovo, so to make it like kind of separate republics, kind of balance it out a bit. And they purposefully settled it with Albanians in the south, so they took over that area. But when Serbia and the wars happened in the 1990s, Serbia had its own sovereignty again, and it was like, we're not giving up Kosovo because it's our heartland, even if you settled it after 1945. And they went in, and then the Albanians did a whole bunch of false flags of like of having terrorists dressed up as civilians, saying hundreds of thousands of being killed. Madeleine Albright saying Milosevic is a vampire, killing all these people, and it was all lies. And then they bombed it. They didn't have any military targets. They had like 100 military targets. Ran out of them in a few days. Ultimately, they had a situation where they started bombing civilian targets right off the bat. You know, kindergartens, hospitals, bridges, and you know, they ended after about 100 days. And then they did a color revolution and changed Milosevic into some pro-Western proxy until 2012, when Serbian patriots took over again.
But I heard the current Serbian president is somebody who's kind of towing the line because he wants EU membership. Is that the case?
Yeah, he does go towards the EU, but it's kind of like he does go towards the EU, but it's kind of like he's kind of like Orban in Hungary, where it's kind of like a nationalist Eastern European EU that doesn't really give up Serbian sovereignty, sort of thing, like Hungary does, you know, or Slovakia or Czechia now. They're not really like selling out. They just kind of go towards it to kind of appease the pressure, because the pressure is massive. All those countries around them are controlled by like the Americans, like Croatia, Bosnia. Those are all proxies of the United States and Britain. Albania, you know, and Romania and Bulgaria as well. So you're surrounded by like NATO-controlled vassal states. So he has to say that to kind of appease them. But majority of Serbs now don't want to join the EU.
Oh, really? Actually, a lot of countries looked at Brexit and thought, you know what, we want to be out of the EU as well. But economically, Brexit has been bad for Britain. And that's a fact. For some people, they'll just say, yeah, we, you know, it was worth it because we've got our country back. But post-Brexit, there have been more people arriving on small boats into Britain than ever before.
Yeah, no, Nigel Farage really dropped the ball, because he was the Brexit party, the UKIP, and then he endorsed the Conservatives, and the Conservatives let in all those people as though they were liberals.
But
and
isn't that a
everything was
political
done.
situation where that the powers that be are allowing for more immigrants coming in?
They are, exactly. They're doing everything to make Brexit not work. They're doing everything to make it fail.
In other words, I don't know if it can be said to be Brexit.
I mean, the problem is not, the bigger problem is not stop the boats. The bigger problem is billionaires making the rich richer and the poor poorer. But, you know, through mass media, they'll say, hold on, look at these people coming in and, you know, staying in hotels and getting free iPhones and free 5G internet and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does happen, but the scale at which it's happening compared to how people are being screwed economically, and I think, personally, I think it's disgraceful that people who served the British Army are homeless. Many people who serve the British Army are homeless. Now, I can pontificate about disagreeing with the wars they were sent to, but ultimately they have done something I've never, ever done or had to do, and that's risk my life. I've never put my life on the line, but these people have for their country, and the way they're treated is disgraceful.
Well, but the same thing politically is occurring in the United States in that illegal immigrants here are receiving government subsidies, whereas you have veterans living homeless on the street.
Guys, you're going to kill my channel with this talk. Not one super chat's come in for the last hour, and this is toxic for my for Google. Do you understand this?
Make it private, sir. You're going to have to make this thing private.
Yeah.
We got
Right,
a Bourbon Card super chat about an hour ago, but that's it.
That's it. It's terrible, man. This is just not. It's too risky for no reward. You know what I'm saying?
Well, sir.
Knox's idea was stupidity. Guys, let's end it. We'll be back. Tomorrow's my day off. I don't want to get infractions for this sort of talk. Let's end it, guys. I love you. We'll
Just make it private, sir. You're going to need to make it private.
Hey, if you guys want, let's go to Curly's.
Curly's is a free form. The politics show is tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
But it doesn't mean you don't have politics tonight.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
Take it easy.
Hi, guys. It's Archie Luxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW, David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.